physics, and either I'm wrong or the laws of physics need rewriting, and I don't think I'm wrong. So
I
basically,
don't think you've ever been wrong, quite frankly, Mr. Freeze. I don't think
and
you've.
if I ever was wrong, um, probably the question that was being asked was wrong and not
Right.
the answer
It
that
was
was.
improperly. It was
Okay.
improperly provided to you. That was
Yeah.
what was wrong about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Trusty ape. Trusty motherfucking ape. Here on this Tuesday, the 10th of March. Just came over from Aiden's stream, so I thought to share that a little bit. I was gonna, I was thinking about joining Aiden's stream, but yeah, I don't think we've like really actually met. I do enjoy listening to Aiden. I think he's a smart feller. Um, but I want to do my own uh, little thing here while I have a few, and so we are at Church of Ape. Pardon the mess. And that kind of relates to me and my whole situation, I suppose, which right now is a bit messy. Bit messy. Uh, Uncertain. Definitely looking for some, you know, like knowledge or wisdom or guidance. I don't know, whatever that stuff is, I suppose. Um, yeah, just my situation. I don't know where I'm gonna be tomorrow. I know I've been advised for certain reasons. Uh, Basically, I guess my plan is to stay with my mother, who's nearby, for like 2 weeks, and trying to like figure out that whole thing. Like, I think it just might be healthy in general, but like my motivations or whatever, it's like um, my motivations for doing anything I'm doing really at this point, or whatnot. So yeah, I've been looking for that, and I was thinking about like the paradox of the spiritual atheist, which is a thought exercise, I guess, sort of, that I did over at Stupid Monkey Philosophy a little while back, and like what spirituality means to people and stuff, and you have people like Sam Harris talking about it, and it's like a sense of connectedness and like like a feeling of connectedness and a sense of purpose or something like that, right? Like whatever spiritual practice, and then it's like also there's like some sense of being grounded in the self. Like even though the self is an illusion, you also have like that sense of being like okay in your own skin, right? Like there's an aspect of that to spirituality, I guess. And so, yeah. JG says, let's critique something from answers and atheism. well, well, we could do that. I definitely have done that in the past, I think. It was, well, no, so I actually, I don't think I was critiquing Mike directly on that one. I did a bit talk about that, about uh, his some of his philosophy in the paradigm of the spiritual atheist, but that was more like a pocket locker, I guess, exchange that I was critiquing. But that was a while ago, anyway, and it was more just like about something he said. Uh, I don't know. That kind of led me on a tangent, I suppose. So yeah, but like for me, I was just like thinking, okay, what I'm doing doesn't appear to be getting me where I want to be, and what do I need to do differently? And then, certain, I guess, opportunities or situations presented themselves, and I thought, well, this could be interesting. Like, why don't I just, like, honestly, openly try this thing? And so I've continued doing that, but now I'm like, all right, what are my motivations? And we're still a little unclear about that. Ultimately, I think, most people just want to have, I want to have like a fulfilling, life and whatnot. um, you feel satisfied and you feel like you're getting somewhere that's worth going. And for a while I thought that that's the path I was on, and now I've started to question that. And so anyway, um, that's where I'm at in my journey today. A lot of uncertainty, definitely a lot of um, different people, different things that are pulling me in a few different directions, and I have to decide where I'm going. Right. So yeah, I've been trying on this spirituality hat, and there have been positive things, and then there have been conflicting things, within my beliefs and my values and stuff like that. And so I have to decide, like, how much of this do I just internalize? How much of this am I actually going to give other people? Because most people say that whatever spirituality or faith you have is something that is like intrinsically yours, right? Like the believers would say, like, that's the thing that's between you and God. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, what's between me and God, and what do I have to share with other people, and what do I, yeah, that type of thing. Separation of church and state here. But anyway, so, oh, hey, Mikey, long time no see.
I saw you extend the StreamYard, buddy, and you doing well? You and the missus, everybody doing good?
Um, Doing all right. The relationship has been strained.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
So
that.
yeah, we're thinking of taking a little bit of a break, and just kind of seeing what's the outcome of that. And we're both working on like personal growth for ourselves. So that's been kind of the thing lately.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on in life nowadays. A lot,
Yeah.
and I mean, and and you can see, lately with all the strained relationships going on regarding foreign policy and all that stuff. I mean, I don't want to get political, but it's just the whole world is in flames. It seems like.
Yeah, that one I've been able to kind of turn that off a little bit. Like, I still care, but I'm not getting like really
Yeah, you're not
enraged like
stressing
I did
yourself.
before.
Yeah, right. You're not
I,
stressing out
I've
yourself
been
about
able
it.
to be more stoic about it. My mom has recently gotten into that discussion, and so she is very intense about it, and I just have to try to keep her calm. And she's at war with the church people and stuff like that because of some of her her congregation is supporting Trump, and she's absolutely, yeah, just obsessed with it now.
Yeah, my folks, when Trump was running for a second term, and my folks looked at both sides of it, and they said, well, you know, Kamala Harris probably would have been the worst possible choice, but that's all that the Dems had at the time. But my parents did say, like, he's this second chance, this second term is like his second chance, and he's going to take full advantage of it. And he has. He's basically done what he said he would do. And I can give him up for that. But I mean, just turning into a full dictator, that's exactly what he's doing. He's building to that. My parents already knew this, and
Right.
they're church ministers in their own right. So, you know, they knew. And my parents, okay, it's really weird because my folks uh, are not necessarily. anti-Republican, but then of course they're not quite anti-democratic either. So I guess they like to straddle the fence in some way. But I mean, when I used to vote, I was voting Democrat most of the time, except for the Reagan years where I voted twice for him because I thought he was the better choice out of the two at the time, and that was the only time I ever changed my allegiance. But then before I left to come move here with Suzanne to Canada, I voted for an independent. I didn't vote for Trump the first time or even Hillary because I was like, no, because neither choice was good. Neither
Right.
choice was good for the country, and that was how it went. So, and then of course I never really vote. I don't vote anymore after that, and I didn't vote for the second term, as I said that Kamala and Trump were running, and I said, well, if Trump gets in a second time, he's probably going to be able to do a lot more than he was the first time because a lot of people are up in arms against him. But here it is. I mean, we are in 2026, and there's wars on 5 different continents, and you're and guess who's at the center of all that? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the sequence of it, but I've almost always voted for Democrats. But like, I remember,
Yeah.
so my first election was the first Obama term, and I voted Obama the first time. But
Which
then the
is what I
second
did.
time,
Which is what I did. Yeah, and I did that
this
too. And yeah, so
but the second time, I remember getting into an argument with a good friend of mine because there was another candidate on the ballot, and it was a Latina woman, and I don't think it was AOC. I don't remember.
uh,
I don't remember the name, but I don't think it was AOC at that time. But it was a Latina woman, and I read, I actually went through and read each of the individual candidates, and I selected her for that. And I thought, well, it's a plus to me that it's a Latina woman because now we've added diversity to the presidency, and we could keep that going as well. And it wasn't really for Hillary or anything. But she was like a long shot candidate, obviously, and my friend was like, "You just wasted your vote" and all of that. And I was like,
right.
"Oh, I think if we want a long shot candidate to get elected, then we have to necessarily vote for them, right?" Like,
Sure. Sure, exactly. Um, there wasn't okay. I barely followed. Like I told you, I was born in the Bay Area back in '65, but I didn't live in the Bay Area for too long. I was there for about 6 years. And I moved out to Arizona to, for my family because they had to find something. My dad had no work, and my mom's trying to raise 2 kids at that point. And the time we moved down there, she had one on the way. So we're like, that's tough back then. And the only thing that my cousin, who was married to my dad's mom or dad's sister, um, at the time, all he had for him was like construction and stuff like that. So he had to take what he could get. He graduated from school, but he had no, formal college education, and he was suffering. So you know, at least my cousin was able to give, my uncle was able to give him some, help in that area, and that's what they did. So between them, they had 9 kids. I mean, my mom and dad had
wow.
4, but between them, they had 9. It was like that was crazy times then. I mean, and we all suffered, right? I mean, we went through stuff. I know Suzanne, in her own right, suffered through her own pains and things, growing pains and things that were going on. Um, so it just took a while, to get together and whatever. Um, but the one thing I quickly want to address here. Yeah. Certainty,
Oh yeah, that's a JG. Certainty exists. Yeah.
JG. Yeah. Well, now Stalin. Okay, at the oppression of his people. That was the kind of fulfilling life he wanted. He was becoming the dictator of Russia at that time, but he didn't realize that mustachioed man over there in Germany actually betrayed him because he thought he was going to share the world and share the wealth with the man, but that didn't happen. And well, we all know how World War II ended. So, um, yeah, but that's the only reason that Stalin did that, um, because of he felt like if he could control everything, he could be everything, he could lead everything. And see, that's the mistake that most leaders make nowadays is they think they can control everything, but you can't. You can't control your citizens for too long. I mean, if you think you're going to do that, well, that's a mistake. But also not only to be able to take care of the citizenry and make sure they're satisfied, you also got to make sure that you got to protect your borders. You got to protect your, from other people who want to exploit you and they want to take advantage of your resources, however much is left. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a dig in there for sure because I had talked about wanting a fulfilling life and wanting to be satisfied, and there's an assumption from some believers that if somebody is an unbeliever or is in doubt, that like the way that they fill that is by seeking power, right? And so
Right.
that's kind of what they point to with these dictatorships where they say, well, look at the communists in like North Korea or the Soviet Union, and if they were atheists, then all atheists must think this way. And I really think no, like, and you can find a lot of Christians behaving that way too, or people at least claiming to be Christians. I mean, people who are hungry for power are going to try to fulfill that somehow.
Right. I think that in places like you said, North Korea, China, Russia, um, you know, any of those countries, well, even in Iran and Iraq, the things that are going on right now, um, there has to be an underlying, uh, you know, group of citizens or whatever that truly believe that they can maintain the peace. Then there's no problems. And in some ways, yeah, that does exhibit a Christian like attitude. It's like they want to keep the peace, they don't want to hurt people, and it's like But usually, when you find that in communists or in countries that have a dictator or whatever, those people that believe in the peace and the correct law and everything else they're really a minority. They absolutely are, and that's the
Right.
scariest part because you wanna have faith in those people and you want to help them, but I mean, like I said, they're just a minority. There's way too many people that want to say, "Hey, let's knock off Israel," or "Oh no, I hate America," and all this other stuff. What can you do about that? I mean, what can you say to that? It's like, well, let's see. Short of using nuclear weapons to wipe you out, which of course we can't use because then we'll have a nuclear war, God forbid. You're really stuck in a hard place. You really are between that and the rock. You know.
Yeah, and at its most extreme, I can see that that it's that isolationism, and the people in power in those countries will seek to isolate the population because most people, if they just had a normal interaction with somebody from on the other side, say some country that hates America, just hang out with an American for a day, and most of them would probably start to find common ground, like.
Oh yeah, and like different attitudes and things like that, different feelings about certain things. Um, One quick thing I want to address. Hey, Big John Lovell. Okay, if you want to go scientific, let's just think for a moment. If there were like major sunspots during the time of Noah, maybe the sunspots and maybe something else going on in the universe at that point might have caused Noah's flood. But you're only thinking on a scientific basis. If you have some faith in what you read in the Bible, I'd say, well, God had to have some kind of influence on that, not just the other sciences that were involved. So you got to be able to kind of have an open mind on both those, John. Just saying.
I think there's some like there's a cycle that we go through with Mars, and it's been said it's predicted by astronomers that we get either closer or further away from Mars during obviously like long. I'm having trouble using the terminology right now, but there's a cycle we go through where our distance from Mars can affect our tidal and polar shifts, I think. So I think we're close enough to Mars that it does sometimes affect our yeah, like through gravity affects us somehow.
Right.
But I don't know if that's widely subscribed. I would have to look that
Accepted.
up.
Yeah. So, what would you do? Big John posts a very interesting question. So, if you're in a church community, which I used to be in, but now, see, my wife is a Universal Life Church minister and is accepted by the Roman Catholic Church as an actual minister. That I can pray, we can say prayers together. I can confess my sins. I can do all this because she is a messenger to God. And both my parents are Carmelite ministers, so they've accepted a long time ago what my wife can do. That's the big question. If you're still in a church community and you find someone who says they're an atheist and they don't believe, now, would you really tell them right away, or would you actually go to a pastor or a priest and confide in them, or even a nun? Even a nun. Nuns can help, and you go to either one of them and say, hey, we have someone who doesn't have a belief in God, but he is a good person. He has a good soul. What would you do? I mean, that's what I would do. I would just confide in the person and say, hey, if you want to, contact this person, you know where you can find them, go and talk to them, see what they say. If they're not going to change their minds, don't force it. Don't force the issue. That's how I would respond to Big John in that one.
Right. Yeah, and I'm in a kind of a peculiar situation because I've been attending a church for a few months, it's a bit of a stricter church though, and they're still very open and tolerant, but to really be incorporated or whatever, they have certain expectations, and I haven't met those expectations anyway. But long story short, I guess I'm going into a lot of the detail there. I'm trying to stay out of that too much, but so I didn't immediately reveal myself as an atheist. I think it was apparent to them when that I was having some struggles. But I didn't call myself an atheist. I just said, hey, I haven't been to church in a long time. The last time I wasn't a good experience, that sort of thing. And then so after now, several months attending the church, my partner decided to reveal to these guys that I was an atheist. And so now I'm like, okay, that kind of threw a wrench in my plan because I wasn't really sure how to deal with them at first. Like, I'm like, is this going to turn into a podcast? And then I thought, no, I should try to go and take this a little bit seriously and see how it goes. And then we got to this point, and now I feel like I've been outed,
Well, that sounds difficult. I think that your partner had good intentions. I think she did. I think that what she was hoping for was maybe you getting together with the church leader or a couple leaders, maybe in some kind of intervention of some kind, and maybe just saying, I do believe in God and everything, but I'm questioning things nowadays. Things that are happening. Because I know with Suzanne, like I can confide into her, anything that I'm really in doubt about, and we do have really good discussions, and I'm blessed about that. The last time I actually went to any kind of church was I think it was, when Suzanne was with me in Arizona. I think it was 2016. I want to say about 9, almost 10 years ago. But that was the last time I actually walked inside a church, actually sat with people and prayed and did the whole Catholic Mass, and that was about it. But but I'm not upset, that I'm not around a community. As I said, my wife is a very blessed person, and she saved my life. I would have died in Arizona if I didn't get a chance to move somewhere to a better place, and she brought me to a better place. And I'm thankful for her, and I'll never forget her for that. To get me out of that situation. But in similar cases where people they have a question of faith, I think what they should do is just in private be able to talk to their leader, a priest or pastor or a rabbi or with the Muslims, even with the whoever they talk to. They should be able to talk to them in private and explain their belief and saying, hey, I have doubts here. I need a second opinion, or maybe get a third opinion, right? I mean, that's how it is, Kevin. Or at least that's how I see it. But that's
Yeah, that's kind of been the advice I've gotten more recently. Was okay, maybe you should reach out to the the big guy
Yeah.
here, um, and yeah, just to address John Level here a bit. Um, he said, "Where did the water on Mars go? The water on Mars fell to the Earth, thus making Noah's boat float." Yeah, I mean, I think the displacement or whatever is an issue there when we're talking about Noah's flood and whether it was truly global. Um, I don't know if it matters so much in the context of the story. Like, I understand that, like, to me, a lot, I still take a lot of what's biblical as being like allegorical or whatever, not necessarily literal in all the cases, right?
Right.
So I don't think there's a problem with that as long as we acknowledge it, right? But I still have doubts about the nature of God and things like that. So, and I again, maybe that's something that is just personal and it's not something we necessarily need to share. But if we're in a space doing philosophy, we might, enjoy exploring that topic. But if it becomes a battle, it's not really helpful for anybody, right? And at that point, I mean, yeah, I mean, it can become like so disagreeable that now it's both parties are engaged in like spiritual warfare, essentially, as some would describe it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to also understand why Big John Lovell says that we're stupid because we believe that Mary was a virgin until the day she died. Well, she was a virgin until the day she died. It's in the Bible. You're calling people that wrote in the Bible, you're calling them stupid. That's what you're calling stupid. Not Catholics that believe in this. The people that actually wrote it in the Bible themselves. And even the people that wrote it in the Bible themselves weren't perfect. We're not perfect human beings, John. You know that. All of us. I mean, we're just we try to attain what Jesus Christ ultimately did, which is what we're going through here in the Lenten season. And yes, it is a pagan kind season. It is too, because a lot of Romans had come up with that to explain things. But the thing is, if you have the belief in place, and you know that when Jesus eventually died and went on a cross and died for our sins, and then was buried in a cave, mind you, with a big, huge rock, and he's all he's gone there on a slab, and there's no way that anyone, not even the Roman guards that were standing there outside to protect it, could even lift that thing. It took a lot of people just to put that stone in place. And then he comes and rises from the dead in 3 days, and he died for all of our sins. John, doesn't that mean anything? I mean, does that mean something to you? I'm just asking, John. I'm not criticizing you. I'm not condemning you for what you think or what you believe. What I'm saying is, would you acknowledge something that is mysterious and yet is meaningful to over 1 million Catholics worldwide, or billion actually, it's 1 billion. So yeah, over 1 billion Catholics. I mean, come on, John, 1 billion Catholics can't be wrong. Okay, you're just calling all of them stupid, or are you just calling a few people stupid? Well, John, the Bible is an absurd book. I've read it 3 or 4 times, cover to cover. It's all, most of it is due to what we call interpretation. Okay, now if you interpret, I hope you don't mind this, Kevin. I'm just trying to explain to him.
No,
If
no,
you
go
don't,
ahead.
if you go, well, thank you. So if you go into the Old Testament, okay, a lot of the Old Testament is, fire and brimstone, and like, oh yeah, we had the flood because God was pissed off and flooded the earth and killed a lot of people and brought Noah and his family to life, And then you had, the Israelites that were suffering under the Egyptian rule, and of course, God went and punished the Egyptians and made them drown in the Red Sea and parted it and made sure that the Israelites got safely over to the other side. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that you can interpret in there and say, yeah, God's a vengeful God. He's gonna knock people off because they disobey and whatever and stuff. I don't think that was maybe the entire. I don't believe that was the entire intention. I believe that way that people interpret that is maybe one way of saying, God will punish you or whatever. But if you look at the New Testament and where his son born, he was the right hand side of his father, and he's born to man through a virgin lady named Mary, okay, who was with Joseph, right? And Joseph was an arranged marriage, but Mary never slept with Joseph in the way you think. They were together, but they never really. I mean, because the prophecy said that Jesus would be born of a woman without sin, and then they were, forced out of their land area there in Bethlehem. They had to move to Egypt, right? Ironic, and then they had to apply for the census. And when Mary was eventually, when she was too old, like after the resurrection, whatever, and she still, like Peter and other apostles, were spreading the word of Jesus. And when she died without sin. So that is why most Catholics do believe that Mary was an integral part. But when it comes to the ultimate, Jesus is the one that saved us all because of his Father. And he had doubts, Jesus says man had doubts. He said, well, could I let this, cup pass from me? Here I am in the Garden of Gethsemane. I'm ready to, I know I'm ready to die eventually. Somebody's going to sell me out, Judas Iscariot. So I'm like, but do I really need to do this? Does this mean anything? And he's asking his own Father in heaven if it's supposed to make sense. So I'm just saying, John, give yourself a chance. Have an open mind, read the Bible a little bit, and then get, you'll be able to acquire your own interpretation. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, John. I mean, it's not a hard book to read. It may be absurd. Yes, it may be open to a lot of interpretation, but it's a good book. That's why they call it the good book. That's why you should read it, John. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm not forcing you to. I'm not putting a gun to your head. So, it's up to you. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I got into an interesting conversation too with a guy from the church because he was, I told him that I had attended catechism when I was young and stuff like that. And so he had some very critical views of Catholicism as well, and I just chose not to engage with that at that point. But I'm trying to find, so I was on Lupin's channel, I'm trying to remember what day it was. I don't think it was in this one. Oh, he actually timestamped all this stuff afterwards, which is nice. So
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Maybe I can go back and look that way, and then I can find the episode I'm in.
Well, John, actually, Kevin and I have been friends for how long now, sir? About what, 3 years? Over 3 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years, something like that.
Yeah, well, I know we became friends when I started streaming. Yeah, so April 1st this year will be 3 years. Yeah, 3 years we've been friends.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah. Sounds right. There's the Nephilim. Yeah.
Oh,
those are interesting conversations. Wow. There's a lot of people that battle out between sinners and saints.
Yeah, he's started doing these recently, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been enjoying some of them. I don't usually agree with Lupin, which is why I found a lot of this conversation interesting, because actually I did talk to him a bit about, my experiences in the church recently, and, some of the people on his panel were critical, but Lupin himself was actually very kind to me and patient and, in the conversation and stuff. And so I didn't feel a lot of animosity there. And I felt a little bad because I've talked a fair amount of crap about him on my show, but No, he was nice that day, but I mean, he's said some. I've heard him say pretty nasty things to other friends of mine, so that's not really an excuse, or like whatever. I still disagree with that, but um,
I think I just want to say to you, John, if you think I'm making stuff up, I think that
oh, this is me.
Kevin and I are both kind of, on the same wavelength most times, and which is fine by me. I don't make stuff up when I'm talking about what I believe in and what I know. It's from experience. I used to be really heavily into church. I mean, I was a lector. I sang in the choir. I was an altar boy when I started in the church. I did all of it. And John, I know it's hilarious to you, but you know, hey, that's you. Okay, you're standing on a lonely island. I gotta be honest with you right now. You're on a lonely island and you're probably lost. You're probably feeling like, hey, I need to find something that makes sense. Well, keep searching, brother. That's all I can tell you. Keep searching, you know? So,
Well, I know, John, like myself, many other people have been damaged by iniquities in the church, and I do want to say, I mean, as far as everything that you and I uh, have have experienced together, Mikey,
yeah.
I mean, I'd say you tend to be one of the most, if I could say like truly like Christ-like people who I've encountered, and I know that's like a far stretch to say that, but in
Yeah.
terms of dealing with some of the people on the internet who want to argue about faith, I mean, you're a very gentle person, and a
Yeah,
very
I
patient
know.
person. I respect you for that. So,
Well, I really enjoy that, brother Kevin. I really do. To me, the men, the women, brothers, sisters, is how I react to that. I did tell you one time, my folks wanted me to be a priest. And I said, that's interesting. I said, well, why would you want me to be a priest? They said, well, because first of all, you've read the Bible, and we know because we've seen you read it lots. And I said, yeah, I've read it a number of times, just a couple times. And and they said to me, we feel like you would be able to lead a congregation, that you'd be able to talk to some people in the church and get them to believe, but without forcing the belief. And I said, well, that's nice and good, mom and dad, but I don't know if I'd be ready for that. I don't know if I'd be prepared for that. And what I do believe in God about mostly is that he does have mysterious ways, which is I definitely believe in. And what he did was eventually he found Suzanne for me, who is a minister. And when my parents realized the the funny side of it, they said, "Well, that's interesting. God had you marry a minister who has ties to the Catholic Church." And my mother even said, when she found out she was a Universal Life Church minister, she said, "Oh, I know some of those persons," or well, she said people, but that's okay. She wasn't being offensive. My mom has never ever been offensive of anything that I could be aware of. Maybe sometimes, some rare times, but not all the time. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So the fact that my mother even acknowledged that my wife is an important part of embracing being with the Catholics and embracing God in the way that the Catholics do. That's great. I love that. And I'm married to the person. So, it's a wonderful thing. And God was able to find her for me. And some people are out there that say, "Well, I don't have anybody for me." Yes, you do, but you have to be open. You have to be open um to what you hear. Just open your heart, open your mind and your soul and your ears, and you'll hear something that will make sense to you. You'll probably also hear something that would cause you to do harm to somebody, if it came from the dark side. you know that happens too. Um all I can explain it is that there are interesting ways that God, you know I say this on my streams. I always say that, I say that when you pray to God, it doesn't matter if you're in silence somewhere by yourself or if you're just, in a group or anything like that, doing a silent prayer. God will answer those prayers because but maybe not in the way you asked for, but they will be achieved because by the time you start your prayer, God already knows. I believe in this too. God already knows your heart and what you're saying in your in your soul. He already knows this. So when he's ready to answer your prayer, like I said, it may not be in the way you want it, but it does get achieved. It does happen. And prayer is a powerful thing. It's been proven scientifically and religiously that prayer does help. It eases the mind. It calms the senses. It allows you to think outside the box and hope for something that's something that's important, and then it happens.
Yeah, that's something I've been actively working at. It's not just meditating, but praying aloud, giving it a shot. Because I always think, well, if God can read your mind, then what's the point of that? But
Right.
there is perhaps some element of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a display, right, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm effectively I'm ending my own career as an atheist YouTuber today. Apparently, so it's been very profitable for me. But no, but I'm half joking and half not. But this conversation should spark a bit of controversy. So I want to run this a little bit, and Mikey, if you want
Yeah,
to,
go ahead.
let me
I'll
know
listen.
if you want to stop anywhere. You just give me a holler.
Now let's go ahead and hear this out.
To I it's a fill out process, right? And but ultimately, if you're talking to another brother or sister in Christ and there's some disagreements or whatnot, it should iron sharpens iron. We study to show thyself approved, as Paul tells us. And then outside of that, man, we still come back to 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, which is the gospel. So
Amen. Yep. And I was going to add something to that, but we do have some other people. We got Terry in here. What up, Terry? What's up, Jamie? I see you there. K2 as always.
who's which one is Terry and which one is Jamie? Because both of their taglines start with a T.
T-Bird, that's Terry. I've known her for a good while. Fellow friend. And Trusty Ape, I've seen you around before. I'm pretty sure he's an atheist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I am, but I'm exploring. Actually, I'm possibly getting baptized next week. That's one of the things I want to talk to you guys about. So, but yeah,
Cool.
thanks for having me.
I love a good baptism conversation.
Wait, I'm sorry. I got a little bit distracted. What did you say again? I'm sorry, man.
Well, yeah, I am I have been an atheist, but right now I'm exploring. I've been going to church for the past few months, and sorry, the background noise. We're trying to get me baptized, so that's my current status.
How do you feel about that?
A little nervous. I still have some questions, but
Oh, I want to say hi to Chatty Blogger MS. Well, welcome.
That's me.
I'm not
That's
sure.
that's
Oh,
me.
that's you. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I lost. I'm sorry, Kevin. I lost my Mikey Susword channel last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was hacked by a Middle Eastern terrorist posing as a homeless man here in the
Oh
Jeep.
no.
Yeah, it happened on Halloween Eve last year, 2025, and we lost it completely. So, no thanks to him being able to, steal a spare phone that my wife had, and he almost ruined our whole. He ruined the channel, But it came back because there was some, personal videos I still was able to, to save from it. And, well, I think we've already forgiven the man, but, some of the cops didn't do anything here because they said, well, short of if, he didn't put a gun to your head, he didn't threaten you with a knife or anything, he just was able to pickpocket the phone. When that happens, there's nothing we can do because he didn't try to harm you. He didn't try to kill you. He just tried to, or hurt you. He just took something from you, and well, it was rough. I mean, because we had the Mikey Sues 4 channel for 8 years and lost it
Right.
all
Yeah.
in one night. It was just gone. And the worst part about it too, just want to add this, is that he tried to call on that phone. He tried to call my parents 3 times long distance from Canada. And I was like, really?
Wow.
Yeah. But my parents, like, they didn't recognize the phone number. That was his downfall. They didn't recognize it. And so, of course, they didn't answer him, obviously, blocked where the number was coming from. And so we had to get a better phone, a smaller phone, a flip phone. And I still have my emergency phone. We have 2 phones, and, we're keeping them safe. But yeah, I mean, that was all that happened. And then, of course, you couldn't charge this other phone unless you had a special charger. Well, if he's homeless and smart enough to understand that he stole it and could call other people, why couldn't he find the right charger for the phone? Because he's still dimwit bulb. So, so there was that. He couldn't charge it, so then he just threw it away. And it's gone now. It's
Oh
over.
man, yeah, that's wild.
But that's why I had to turn it to Chatty Blogger MS, because that's me. So, and Suzanne. So we just started that basically the after the 1st of November. So we've only had it for a couple months, but well,
Got you. Yeah, I know there's a lot of
we've been okay so far. Yeah.
yeah, I've heard of YouTubers talking about like having a backup account like ready even before, because so many things can happen that
We
can
did
get
it
your
this
account
time.
flagged or banned or deleted, whatever.
Yes, sir, we did, and I did, Trusty or Kevin, I did resub you and everything. Everybody, and I'm going through that right now. I'm just going over what I had previous on my Mikey Sues 4, and me and Suzanne, and just going through the people that were subbed to us and helped us, and through difficult times when I had a piece of shit computer. It was 15 years old. That was so depressing.
I've been
I was
through that
glad I
for a
finally
while,
got
yeah.
a brand new one. Yeah, that was just terrible. But yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're just getting friends back. We've lost other friends to other reasons. Over the course of the last few months, it's been really difficult, and we're trying. We're trying to get through it too. There are doubts. Everybody, I think, is entitled to uh, having doubt in faith, right? They have faith in God, but then there are days, right, that they just wake up and they go, really, why is this happening? And they do have doubts. And people are allowed to have doubts. That's not sinful. That's just common sense. If you have a doubt in your mind or in your heart, you're like, well, what should I do? And most Catholics will say, well, pray to Jesus, or pray to God, or pray to the Virgin Mary, and maybe you'll feel better, maybe you'll feel calmer. And I mean, Suzanne and I, we can pray with each other and together, and that helps us. So I mean, to get over things. So I mean, that's but everybody's different, and I don't condemn them at all for that. That's the way you are. It's you have faith, and if you have faith, you'll have love in yourself. You'll believe in others eventually. Not all people are bad. Okay, it's one thing you got to remember. It's there are some still good people. It's like you and I just said earlier, Kevin. There are countries that are really bad out there. We know them. We're aware of them. But there are people within those countries that still have good hearts and good souls, and yet they're being drowned out or shouted out by people that hate. And it's just it's tough. It's tough to watch. It is.
Yeah, I question that myself. I'm like, if there's there's good and bad people, or good and evil people, so to speak. Like, what is the ratio? Because I have the idealistic self that tries to say that actually, I think most people are mostly good. Like everybody has their flaws, but most people are trying to have healthy interactions with the world around them, and sometimes they just fail. Whereas there's that
Right.
other side of me that says, how many of these people are out to get me? Is it 50%? Is it 30%? Like what's the ratio? And it's like,
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, and this is like, don't get me wrong, I think I've learned this over time, but and I was saying hello to Viking Silverwolf. Hey, Aeon, good long time no see
oh
from
yeah, I think we
from
good to see you,
Boston.
Silverwolf.
Yeah, it's good to see you, hon. Anyway, so what I was gonna say was, I think that most people like to first dissect things scientifically because we have an analytic mind. That's what we were given. That's part of the free will base, if you want to go with that. I think it's a good idea is just to go with that because you have it. So analytically or scientifically, you want to say, hey, why are these people so evil and how come they get away with things? But you want to, like I said, you want to figure this out analytically, and it's hard to because there's no right or wrong answer, right, when it comes to it. So then you go, okay, so should I take a look at this from a faith perspective? What should I do there? Should I ask God, maybe in a private prayer or something, hey, why is there still evil? Is this part of your overall plan to save us all eventually and bring us all to heaven and send the rest to hell? And how is that going to go? And that's just having an open mind, just having that free will to just say, hey, what's going on here? Why are we doing this? Why is war going on right now? Could this all end because this ended like years ago? Things like that. There's well, I don't know for sure, John. It's hard to interpret sometimes what God says to you. You just have to take it at face value, is what I'm saying. So I take what God tells me at face value. That's what I do, and I've been fine. Suzanne and I have been able to get through life, even rough times, because we ask God privately in prayer together or separately, and you know, yeah, what would Jesus do? What? Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. What did God say, or what should Jesus do? Right, John? You're getting it. You're getting the point.
I think he's selective in that too. It's not what would Jesus do, but what should Jesus do, right?
What
And
should Jesus
so
do, or what you would do? Well,
I've
there
kind
is
of
also
come to
what
take
we
a
do.
different position on that. Like from everything I've learned in
Yeah.
the Bible,
Yeah.
because of different people's interpretations, I think a lot more people put this emphasis on hell and things like that and suffering.
Right.
But if I look at the message and what it's saying, and from other people that I've heard now interpreting differently, that actually, if at some point, eventually, all people would be saved if we're to believe the doctrine of salvation, that Jesus died for the sins of all men, right?
All
But it's just a
mankind.
matter
Yes.
of when they become saved rather than if they become saved.
Right, which of course mankind meaning womankind also, kids, seniors, whoever you want to mention, it's all humanity. I wish God had said that in the Bible that Jesus saved all humanity, because that would include every single race, right? Every gender, didn't matter what it would have been, but it says mankind in the Bible. It does say that. So I was like, okay, but like I said, when it came to interpretation, my interpretation's not going to be the same as yours. There's no way. Like everybody that reads the Bible at some point in their lives, even if they just read it for curiosity's sake, is going to have an entirely different interpretation of each of the testaments, right? The old, the new, Acts of the Apostles. They'll even have interpretation of Revelations, right? Or the Psalms that are in there. There's Lamentations in there. I mean, there's all sorts of different books that apply into one big book. And yeah, it's going to be hard for a lot of people just to interpret and read it and go, read, interpret, and figure it out and go, and they would try to use their scientific mind side, and then they would use their faith side, and they go like, I don't know, how does this explain it? It is still difficult. I mean, like I said, even for me, who's read it a few times, I'm still confused. I mean, I'm still having some issues with, like I said, with interpretation. Every interpretation is different. That's how it is.
I had a book gifted to me, actually. I haven't started it yet, but it's I thought it was like the the Jefferson, or I think it was Jefferson Bible, but that's not it actually. But this is called and I had to look it up. It's called The Life and Teachings of Jesus of Nazareth.
Yeah.
And so they kind of break down the Old Testament very simply and then go into, so it's more written like a narrative. So I haven't gotten into it yet, but I think that's interesting. So I found this, it's like, okay. Yeah, it's kind of loosely affiliated with like what they call the Good News Bible, I guess, which was something else I come up
I'm going to
recently.
show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you on my camera here. So if you want to enlarge me, open me up there for just a minute. Okay, so this is what a friend gave to me. This was the Orthodox Study Bible, which applies not just to Eastern Orthodox, but Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox. This gives a lot of detailed information. I think maybe a lot more than King James, because I used to read the King James Bible, and I do have one that was gifted to me by my great aunt Pat, which I still have somewhere. It's around somewhere. But this was gifted to me recently, last year by someone, and I started reading it, and I was intrigued. There was a lot of different things that, yes, the Old Testament still teaches, but then they added some things. And if you remember the Book of Mormon added a lot of stuff, which I don't read, but I mean, I don't hate the Mormons for that. It's just, like I said, it has more information, and this obviously has a lot of information in it. And I still have time to read the whole thing, but like I said, that this is something that I started reading myself. So, yeah. Interesting. And it has pictures.
So personally,
it has pictures.
I have started reading the Book of Mormon, so it's it's definitely different.
What is that like? Let me ask you, brother. What is the Book of Mormon like? We should put this in there.
It's similar to the Bible in many ways, I think, in the way it's like the structure of it, but essentially, and I haven't gotten too deep into it, but my understanding is like there are parallels, and so there are events happening in different parts of the world, but they are parallel to the events that are happening in the Bible, and so there's different characters, obviously, and various what the Mormons consider to be prophets who come along, and so. Yeah, it's similar in a way, but it also has some different kind of complexities to the teaching there, and then Jesus supposedly appears to these people, right? So, but this is kind of I'm a bit confused about the timeline, but there is some that is during the time of Christ's life, and then some that occurs after the crucifixion, resurrection.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know too terribly much about it other than that. That's kind of.
Yeah, I was kind of laughing at. I was going to read quickly through here where Big John says the Bible's just a bunch of stories, so you can make the Bible mean anything. The Bible is superstitious. The Bible was written by ignorant, bigoted savages telling us about their God.
I was going to add something.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
They always say the Bible is the greatest story ever told.
Yeah. The same people that do that, right. That's what my minister wife just said. They also say the Bible is the greatest story ever told. You can't go wrong with that if you're making mockery of it, and these people say it's true, and that's not just saying. And he says Mormons think Jesus was gunfire in the Old West.
Yeah, not quite the narrative, but I do appreciate the humor there, because that is and In my experience with them, they're pretty like open about that. That hey, yeah, it's easy to mock this, you know. So
Well, Mormons also say, are they the ones that said that the prostitute he came across, Mary Magdalene, was that supposed to be the wife of Jesus eventually? So when you look at the Last Supper, that's supposed to be his wife, the prostitute Mary, that he met and saved from being stoned to death. And
I know
they
I've
said they
heard
were
that
able to-
before. I've heard that
Yeah.
for years, but I didn't know if that. I don't know if that came from the Mormons. That's not something that's come up in my current experience, but I have heard that long ago, and I remember there was like a History Channel documentary about it. There was like a whole theory that Mary had conceived Jesus's baby and all of this stuff.
Yeah,
History
yeah.
or one of those, yeah.
I think that started with Dan Brown because Dan Brown was the one, because I've seen Inferno, with Suzanne, I've seen Angels and Demons, I've seen the uh, the other book that came or the other movie that came before that, uh, you know, the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, I've seen all those films. Like I've seen them, and I'm like, yeah, they're intriguing, but I mean, it's Hollywood, okay? It's Hollywood's own interpretation, and they're throwing it out there. And of course, you had a great guy named Ron Howard, who you think is a saint, maybe in some circles. I don't know if that's true. Really can't say.
Are we
But
talking about the actor filmmaker Ron Howard?
yes, we are. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he directed all three of those movies that I just mentioned.
Okay.
Three movies that were books that Dan Brown himself wrote. Like I said, the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and then Inferno. That was the last one. And yeah, I mean, it's just.
I did
you
not
can't-
know I didn't know he had made those movies. That's why I was like, okay, but
Yeah,
I didn't
he
really
made-
get into the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I read the Da Vinci Code. I think half of it. I didn't even read the whole book. I read like half. Yeah, I read half, and I was like, okay. I thought
I think
the
at that
idea-
point in my life, I was just tired of Tom Hanks. I think that's all it really was. But
I think most people are tired of Tom Hanks by now, but the man has won 2 Oscars. Okay, so to be fair, he's not exactly the baddest actor out there. Why now, Big John? I'm questioning. Why would you say the Bible is said to be the biggest bullshit story ever told, dude? Are you? I'm not trying to get upset or anything. I'm just saying to Big John, what's wrong, dude? Speak your mind, but let us know what your whole hang up is about it. Come on now. How was Mary when God raped her? He didn't rape her, dude. Okay? It was a message brought to her by Gabriel. Gabriel was there with a message saying, God is going to implant you with my son because he wanted to make his son become man. That is what happened. It's not rape. Come on now, John. Please, I'm just saying it's not. Okay, I don't know where you're coming up with this stuff.
A good point. If you look at Dogma,
Yeah.
and Alan was the angel.
Yeah.
He touched her and said, "You're now pregnant with a baby." That's what actually
Right.
you're interpreting. Yes.
Right. That's the interpretation. That's what my wife said. About dogma. That is how Mary was blessed. Remember, Mary was a woman without sin. She never sinned, and she was a complete virgin. And that's what the destiny was in the Old Testament. If you read it, Jeremiah mentioned it, Job mentioned it, all sorts of, Ezekiel, everybody mentioned that. Okay? So, John, I know you're laughing and you think it's hilarious, and I'll pray for you, John. How about that? Oh man.
here we go. Keep them in your prayers.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We got far afield
Yeah,
here,
well,
but
go
I'll
ahead.
continue on. This is a pretty brief conversation, so it'll only be a
That's
few
fine.
minutes.
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
I know it's something that my friends and family have been excited for, and something that I've been curious about. I've heard other people talk about their conversions and how powerful the baptism was for them. So
I feel like for me, I don't know, I was young when I had it done, but I feel like once I was baptized, like the spiritual attack just went crazy in my life. Like the devil was like, "Rah!"
Yeah, it can be like that. So let me ask you this, Ape, and also this is something that I see in a lot of like other Christian channels and stuff like that. They like a lot of conflict and everything because it brings views and it can be attractive. It can be almost humorous. But also, if other people are, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes my channel gets like that too. Sometimes don't let that fool you. But don't let me fool you. But it can be detrimental because you can have somebody on the sidelines, that are just right at the edge, that are thinking about it, and then they see all this kind of stupid, just dumb stuff, from other Christians, and be like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Like, I'm good. This ain't for me. And we want to be careful about that too sometimes. So
I did kind of want to address this part just because of what he just said, and we're going to continue into that a bit in the conversation here. But like one of the things when Terry was talking about like spiritual attack, and I think about all the things that are happening right now, and this is leading up to baptism. So so in the Mormon Church, they have a set of guidelines that they want you to follow. Like ideally, it would be like a whole lifestyle change, right? But at least, there's a goal leading up to the baptism that you follow all of these, ordinances and you learn these things, right? And I'm not meeting that standard right now. So my baptism got pushed back from a week to 2 weeks, and now we're out a month to give me the time to try and do those things. In some ways, I feel like I'm seeking discipline from the church, right? Like this is something I'm doing. But on the other hand, I feel like the circumstances of my life become so chaotic that it is like a test. And I wonder whether or not that's coincidence,
Right. Well, and John's hilarious. He says 50,070 people killed for looking into the Ark of the Lord. If you remember reading the Bible, Big John, hopefully you did, God had even said to Moses that the Ark of the Covenant was a holy vessel, and that's where the books of the Ten Commandments were put in, and other holy objects, and only priests that were endowed to enter the ark itself, and it was in a tent and everything else. Well, that's okay, John. I forgive you. Anyway, just to finish the story. So, it was in a holy, tent, and then eventually put it in the temple. And these people that, didn't realize it's a holy vessel that carries the word of God through, the Ten Commandments, which are now part of the Bible. That's why those people died. Because they were ignorant. They had said, well, no, this is just an ark. We could just take a look at it and see, but they didn't think about it. And God even told them, said, don't touch. Like he even warned people. That's where you're getting the idea, like back in the Old Testament, that God was a vengeful God, that he wanted to kill people and wipe people out because they weren't listening to him and were not obeying his. God is not like that. God was never like that. Now, most people will interpret it one way and say, yes, he was. But no, he wasn't. He wasn't. I'm trying in my own way to clarify that God is still a good God and still, takes care of us in many ways and never would have condemned us. He just made sure that he instructed us in the right way. And if people were stupid enough still to touch the ark, well, 50,070 people got stupid. So, that's how it is. Just saying.
Yeah. There's a couple other issues that came up there with what Terry had said, that she was very young when she was baptized, and I don't know what age. She didn't elaborate on that, right? But I noticed a lot of churches do this, and so there's a conversation that I got into with my mom, who supports the idea of baptism, but she's like, "Well, my church will do it now." They don't, they say, they're like, "Come as you are," and all of that. And something I appreciated about the Mormons was that they do have rules for adherence to certain lifestyle choices, I guess you would call it, right? Values prior to the baptism, and education prior to the baptism. They're not baptizing babies as soon as they're born. They wait until that person comes of what they consider the age of reason, which is like 8 years old. And then they have a test. It's not a test; they call it an interview, but it's essentially a test of knowledge and values. And so then they do the interview, and then you're baptized, right? So I appreciated that in some ways, but then on the other end, there's this practice that I don't know as much about, but of baptizing the dead, right? And so that's done, posthumously, without that person's presumed knowledge or consent, right? But somehow we are given that right if we ourselves are baptized. So that's kind of a weird thing about that, right?
Yeah, I have. Like I said, I have a brother, a younger brother, and two sisters, and I won't mention the name of my one sister who was at one time seeing someone who was Mormon, and she, my sister is a very God-fearing Christian. She truly is, and so are my other sister and my brother. Well, my brother maybe not so much, but that's his own choice. But anyway, getting back to my sister, so she was dating a Mormon, and she was starting to acknowledge that maybe, and this is her own words, she said that maybe in a twisted way, there was an interpretation of God, which was acceptable, but she felt more comfortable listening to a priest say something rather than a leader, someone from the Mormon faith. And the thing that really bothered me to this day was they wouldn't allow her to leave the Mormon faith. Now, if you leave the Catholic faith, that's your own choice, and you're allowed to do that. You are completely, because that's your free will. That's what that's why God gave free will, to everybody. So, I mean, that's my brother. My brother left, and he, in his own way, is still part of Mormon, but that's his own choice, and he's with his wife, who is also Mormon. So, I don't condemn my brother. I won't do it. It just, but the way, the thing that I found out was the way that the Bible was interpreted by Brigham Young, who was the leader of the Mormons at the time, was a little bit twisted. And my sister was just trying to tell her, her boyfriend, her Mormon boyfriend, hey, I just, maybe I can help you also, maybe to embrace a little bit of my Catholic, upbringing, a little bit, to be a little more accepting so that you can accept us. Because they go on missionary, missions, right? They go to door and they tell you the Mormon faith is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you're just talking to yourself going, yeah, but I mean, I know it differently, and it's interpreted to me differently. It's a better place that I'd be in as opposed to what you're preaching. Suzanne had an instance like that. So what she did was she got a Mormon and a Jehovah's Witness to prophesy to each other. They came to her door.
It's a showdown.
Like, Jehovah, yeah, like a showdown. Hey, Jehovah's Witness, meet the Mormon. Mormon, meet the Jehovah's Witness. And she shut the door, and they argued. That the two of them just went at it and, talked to each other. I wish it were that simple. But yeah, my sister got out of it, right out of the relationship, but she barely did. She almost died because, like I said, the Mormons are a bit more aggressive. They don't want you to leave, but they will do anything possible to try to stop you, short of trying to kill you. And unfortunately, that's what led to my sister to leave it. And we're also upset. our whole family, our immediate family is concerned about my brother. But, you know, my brother, when the chips are down and everything comes down to the very end, he's not going to, I believe this in my heart and I might be wrong. But when he's on his deathbed and he's starting to talk to God, I think he's going to talk to God more through his Catholic upbringing that he shared with me and my sisters and my parents, as opposed to what he believes in now with the Mormon faith. And, like I said, but I could be wrong. I'm not a perfect man. I've never professed to be a perfect man. I'm just, I can make mistakes. But I would like to believe that's a positive thing for my brother if he reaches that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, as far as that experience, I try to like come to a reasonable conclusion about the things that I'm hearing, right? But I've heard this about religious people, like cults in general, and particularly like when it comes to religious cults, and that that at a certain point they do try to keep you there. Now, I don't know at what point that occurs, right? Like, I haven't been with the Mormons very long. In my experience, they are persistent, but they also are very, very much they are, believe in free will, believe in agency, and we'll go down to the comment there in a second. So their belief is very much like proponent of free will, that you are in consort with God, and you've already planned this life and you just don't remember it, right? There's a kind of amnesia going on there. So I wouldn't see them doing that, but I could see how people, have done that and could do that.
Right.
But I don't feel like particularly threatened at this point in time, but that may change,
Well, you never know.
but,
There are people. We know this to be true, Kevin. I do believe this. There are people in life that felt like, when they were martyred, they felt like they were martyred on behalf of Jesus, on behalf of God, and they weren't incorrect at all. They were martyred because of their belief in God and their faith. And then there are some who say, well, if I get killed, but I'm getting killed, protesting against God or something else, does that mean I'll still be saved? Well, I would like to think so. I mean, but that's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. The other thing he's talking about here, John, is saying some people say that there's no free will and that we make decisions. Why do you think we have free will? Free will allows us to make those decisions that we would normally, if we accepted everything as true and we didn't make a single decision about our lives, you know how messed up we would be? We'd probably be worse messed up than we already were. But because we have the free will to make decisions, that's where that comes from, John. Some people would say that is incorrect. That's not right. Yeah.
I was gonna say that I was gonna circle back around to that, but we'll do it the other way around. So for me, like, and I think this is a bit of a contradiction in terms when people say there is no free will and that we make decisions, but we don't willingly make decisions. So, and there's like this naturalist perspective that because of all of the prior circumstances leading up to now, we could not have done anything differently than we did. And I don't really like subscribe to that. But even under whether it's a God or a not God world, I still believe in some form of compatibilism where people have the capacity, if they don't have, it's like severe mental defect or something, they have the capacity for change, and how that occurs. Right, and there is some element of agency there that once we learn a new thing, we decide that we're going to use that skill or to discard it. Right. Like, I'm trying to think of any number of things I've learned to do over the years. Skateboarding. I know how to skateboard. I'm all right at it, but it's not something that I focus on. It's not something that I do all the time. Right. So it's a skill that I have. but I've chosen that I don't use that skill all the time. Now I could possibly choose in the future. So all of those things, yeah, there's all these circumstances leading up to it, but then there's the point where we start making decisions. How important is skateboarding in my life, you know? And that like breaks down to every level of choices we make.
Right. And I was going to say to John, I mean, on his behalf, he thinks it sounds like a presuppositional thing. Well, there are people that when they make decisions, they have to presuppose ahead of time. Some of them do. It's just the way their analytical thinking is. They have to say, well, let's suppose I do this, and then it's going to turn out that way, or if I do this, and it's going to turn out this way, or will it be positive? Will it be negative? People do that all the time, John. It's trying to weigh, the pros and cons. If we're not thinking humans, we're not weighing the pros and cons of our decision making and what we do in this life. And will it change anything? Perhaps. If it doesn't, well, then that's the way it was supposed to end up. In the first place. Yeah, I mean, I believe. Well, if I speak for myself and Suzanne, we believe that if we do make the decisions we make, we don't know what the consequences will be, because eventually something comes about and changes the whole game. But if we already knew the answer, obviously, no, we wouldn't do that thing because we know what the consequence would be. But it's the moments that we decide on something and then something happens from that we didn't anticipate. Well, that's going to happen because that's how life runs. That's how it is. So,
Yeah. And so just to circle back around to where we started a bit, and Silverwolf's comment here said most of my family wanted me baptized, and I don't know if it's really a good thing, but in my opinion, it was a good decision. So I take it Silverwolf did get baptized and feels positively about it.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from other people as well, and people who have been formerly in the atheist community that I've been a part of have converted and said that baptism was very significant for them. And John Lovell says, I've never been baptized, no magic water on me. And so I have to say, for me, I also have never been baptized in any type of, formal, ritual. I've had people, put holy water on me or oils and anointings and things like that. And I've also been, I've had faith healers who have touched me. But honestly, those experiences, with the oils and things like that have maybe varying degrees of something that I felt were powerful. But with the faith healers, I felt it was a total fraud and a gimmick. And in most of those cases, for whatever reason, I felt that I needed to play into it. So I would pretend that they were healing me, but at the same time, I realized that it didn't work, But I just couldn't say that in the moment.
Sure, and there are false prophets in any religion. It's not just in Catholicism or Judaism, any of the other. It's evident in every known religion to man. There will be false prophets. There are people that you'll listen to and you go, nah, that's bullshit. I won't listen to that, and you might just pretend to believe in it for a little bit and they go, nah, no, that's not going to work, but you're never condemned for that. You're just in that point, you're using your mind going, yeah, but there's something, I know there's something more for me than just this, and I was, okay. The one thing I realized too is that people that haven't been baptized, well, believe it or not, there are instances where people have ended up on their deathbed, right? And they receive last rites regardless, right? Which of whatever their religion they're in, or even if they're an atheist or a Satanist, they've been on their deathbed, and the person, the priest or whoever is in the chapel in a hospital at that point in time, ask you simply, do you surrender yourself to Jesus? Do you surrender your soul to Jesus? And they'll bless you. And if they say, well, I have not been baptized, then I will go with the process of giving you baptism. And, and then after the baptism and after you've been baptized before you die, what is your final decision? And they give you that option. They do. And so John, don't feel bad if you haven't been baptized. you may end up in a point where, you know, supposedly you when you get to your final days and and you want last rites, they'll give that to you. They give you that option. They do. They give that available to you at any time. So yeah, but don't feel bad that you haven't been baptized. Don't feel bad about that. So yeah, just saying.
Yeah, and in worst case, you die before me. I can do it for you as long as I get into the church, man.
Well, I told Suzanne, I said, Suzanne, the plan I hope that God has made for us is that we're both going to go together. We almost did last year in November, around November 27th. She and I both got the early signs of a heart attack. We both almost died. But then we came out of it, thank God, And I said, well, we believed after we prayed about it together and we talked about it, that was what God was giving us, was a fair warning. He was letting us know that if we continued down the path we were going, stressing out and going into high end worries and all this stuff, we're going to end up killing each other, and just dying of stress. And thankfully God woke us up and said, hey, it's time to do what you need to do, and I have a plan for both of you. And the one thing I also like to say too is, and this just, like I said, again, it's just my opinion, but I believe truly that everyone on earth has a mission to accomplish. And that's why you live on this earth, because you have to accomplish what you need to do. When you reach that accomplishment of the mission, then and only then, I believe that's when God decides, okay, it's time for you to come to me. Or even Lucifer will do the opposite and just say, well, since you've already done your worst and whatever, it's time to come down to hell. So, it goes both ways, it goes both ways. But yeah, everybody does, like I said, in my opinion, does have a mission to accomplish, to achieve. And, when you come close to dying, when you think you have these near-death experiences, which are really educational because they really open up your mind. You go, wow, I didn't realize I was, heading to my demise because I was, because something happened and I did something wrong. And it wakes you up and you go, okay, there's a way I can change this, for the better. And, well, that's just you're refocusing on the mission, and you don't know what the mission personally is for you yet, but only God knows that. So that's what I believe. And so he'll just let you guide yourself along. He still gives you the free will to make your own decisions and make your own choices. And but if it leads to the accomplishment of the mission, well, then when you're done, then it's time to go. It's time to be taken. And like we said, you never know when you're going to be taken. Nobody does. This is one true statement I heard recently. Everybody knows the day they were born, but nobody knows the day of when they're going to die. Nobody knows that. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they take that easy way out, then I guess they know right before they do it or something, or whatever,
Sure.
however long it takes them to plan it. But
right. Yeah. Big John saying, wouldn't it be fun if magic was real? Well, magic is real. There are actually magicians like David Copperfield, David Blaine. I could go on and on. Houdini before he died. But yeah, there was some magic, but that's also misdirection. Magic is known as misdirection.
Magic in the sense of divine power rather than illusion.
Right.
Yeah, we had a bit of a. I think John had to go or chose to go. I'm not sure.
Well, I hope I didn't.
He might have made a free will decision there to take off. He didn't want the baptism. So.
I know, Kevin. I hope I didn't kick him out or anything or force him out. I didn't want to be that way.
John's a good guy, but yeah, he could be irreverent. I like the humor. I like that. That we don't, have to take these things too seriously, and it's not like, I don't know, some people I see who will just freak out whenever these things come up. They're like, no, you're wrong, and yeah, and they just go into a
Right.
tirade, man.
Right.
It's-
And I wanted to express to Viking Silverwolf, it is Mikey and Sue's Viking. I know we had a fallout previous before, but I hope it wasn't something I said or something we did or anything like that. So, you know, so if you're willing to, you know, open up dialogue again, or you know, I'm just sending an olive branch out to you there, hun. So you know, if you know, like I said, because if I did anything wrong, it's totally on me, and I would call that. But you know, just let me know, you know, in chat there, real quick. You don't have to reveal anything personal at all. It's just let me know if you feel better about, you know, restarting a friendship, and you'll go from there. And just let me know, Viking. Yeah, because I know you guys were going through a lot when you were over there in Boston, you know, in New England, and we prayed for you guys every day. We did. So yeah, to hope that you found a better place to live and better people to hang out with, and yeah. So I get it. I understand. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, am I okay? I'm not muted. Wow. All right. I thought I was muted. I was like, do I
No,
have to
no,
unmute?
no,
But
you
no,
weren't
I did not
muted.
mute
No.
myself. And I just subscribed to you as well, Mikey, over there. And I found your new
thank
channel,
you.
and I gave you a wrench here. So,
Oh, awesome!
yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, I like I said, ever since we lost the previous channel, Mikey Says 4, I've been working and working to try to get to all my friends, letting them know, hey, we're alive, we're still here. You know, we had to build up another channel, and you know, we've got like 80, you know, now 83. Thank you, 83 subscribers. And she and I have put out a number of videos. We've done over 100 already. So if you go to our Chatty Blocker MS, you'll see a lot of different videos there. I was finishing uh, my last pop culture TV series for a while, Get Smart. I'm still working on that to finish, and when I get finished with that, I'll probably move on. Maybe Star Trek. You know, I might start from the beginning, go Star Trek Enterprise, and then just kind of go through there. I don't do any of the new Trek stuff. Star Wars is on a breathing life support right now, so I can't
Yeah.
even deal with Star Wars. I don't even deal
That
with
might
that
be an
anymore.
understatement. Well, I don't know if you
it
could
might
get
be
much
dead.
worse.
Yeah, it's gotten worse. It might be dead. But you know, they had a movie that's coming out in May, a Star Wars story. It's one of those, you know, like they did Solo and they did, you know, Rogue One before that. Uh, and Solo was directed by Ron Howard too, believe it or not. But that being said, so this thing, the Mandalorian and Grogu's supposed to be the next phase of Yoda. He's supposed to be the next Yoda, and you know, and so they're doing a story, you know, that's coming out in May, and I was like, okay, yeah. So there's that.
Right.
Uh,
And it sounds like Silverwolf said she would like to maybe discuss some things with you privately on that, but you know, it sounds like she's willing to talk. So.
Oh, okay. She said I knew it was a call. Oh, I knew it was you because I recognized your voice, and it was something that you did, but it's not apropos to bring up. Okay, we'll talk about it. I'm sorry. Okay, in Apes chat though. Yeah, I'm sorry, Viking. But as I said, if it was something I did, I totally apologize. I mean, you know, I've done dumb things. I will admit to that always. I have done stupid things, trying to build channel and things like that, and doing things my own different way. You know, when I should be doing things together with Suzanne, you know, in her way and everything. Also, so yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. Hey, I gotta step away, Kevin. Okay,
Okay,
just for a
cool,
second.
cool. I'm gonna play this video a little bit more, and yeah, if
Yeah,
you
go
wanna
for
come
it.
back,
I'll still be able to
whenever-
hear it. Yeah,
All right.
thank you.
Honestly, that's been like a hang up for me, is where I feel like I'm good with the people that I'm going to church with now. And I'm okay with maybe being like, I'm more I like leaning in towards like deism strictly, and I like the doctrines of the church, but I disagree with so much of what other people call Christianity. So I'm still not really comfortable calling myself a Christian, if that makes sense. But I am, in some sense, following what I believe to be the correct teaching. But yeah, like I disavow so much of what other people call Christianity. That's been a big hang up.
Hey, Mr.
Good. Do
Mis-
that.
What kind of church are you going to?
So I've started attending the LDS church. So I've been with Mormons.
You trying to get into that Mormon gang so you can like rise to the top?
It really it was something that came to me. Like I was just doing my thing, and the Mormons approached me on that day, and ever since I've been talking to them consistently, and it flows. It feels right. I can't really explain it beyond that. It's definitely not where I expected to be.
The cool thing is like when you die, you get your own planet.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I have a feeling like Amicus kind of wants to jump in here? I guarantee you we're probably thinking the same thing, but
It's your channel, bro. I'm being respectful.
So I thought that was funny. They kind of play good cop, bad cop on me a little bit here. So first he's like, I'm just going to let you guys talk and be respectful. But Amicus is actually the one who's going to say the quiet part out loud. Lupin is going to continue, in my opinion, to be like more respectful. Or I think, I don't know, more receptive or whatever. So yeah, I was actually surprised that he was so polite. But I don't know if he's really aware of my channel. Maybe he is now. But before that, because... we had talked shit to each other a bit inside chats, and I have obviously done some coverage of him on the channel here. So,
okay. So the reason why I said like good, whenever it came to like you are the thing that holds you back is the way that man or people kind of represent it in their doctrine. Yeah. You have to be very critical of that. And I have my own thoughts and opinions on the Latter-day Saints. And like I said, if I wasn't going to be doing a Bible study, I could, in about 10 minutes, if I wasn't joining that, I could get into a whole number of reasons. A step in a certain direction is a good step, but I don't want to, I don't want to.
And I think right there he just put like the limiter on the conversation, because he had brought up the Bible study, which is already running at this point, right? Like he had already promoted it and stuff. But it seemed like it was kind of an open-ended thing. And right there he's like, oh no, I'm going to go in like 10 minutes. I don't remember him saying that before, and I've been watching for a minute. But maybe he did, but I felt like he was like, oh no, we're not going to go into this right now, was kind of his attitude. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about Lupin. We don't know each other like that, but I've just seen some of his stuff, and I've seen him around, so that's where we're at.
Okay, I'm back. So,
Lupin, you could just tell him you don't feel well, and we just continue the conversation.
No, what? Wait.
I have a question.
Well,
They want to get you baptized. Like how does baptism? What is their attitude about baptism in the Mormon Church? Because like, I'm a Baptist Christian, and like you wouldn't get baptized unless you truly believed and wanted to. You wouldn't like be like, oh, I might be a deist and get baptized. You'd be like, well, that's probably not for you, brother.
She brings up a really good. She brings up.
I don't think we really get to address that, but in terms of deism and theism, I think is kind of an important point here, and regarding free will. Now, and I'm going to say, I don't think that I don't know if I said it already or I'm about to say it, but the people in the church would not agree with me, but under my understanding between theism and deism is that the main difference is the free will thing. That in a theist universe, it says that God has planned everything, But in a deist universe, it says that God has set up the parameters or the conditions that these things occur, and then the agents kind of take over, the inmates take over the asylum, so to speak. Which is kind of my interpretation under Mormonism, where they say, well, we all pre-plan our own destiny, but it's within the plan of the Creator. So that still lines up with deism, because we still have full agency in our existence. That's my interpretation there. Oh no. Sorry. No, that was something different. Okay.
I was gonna try and get there as well too. I was gonna say, hey, these people may want you to get baptized, but what do you think about getting baptized? Like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, strictly speaking, I mean, I think, they would not agree with what I said about deism. That's kind of the direction I'm leaning, and it seems to comport with some of what they teach.
Thou shalt not lie. I don't think that was in the commandments, and I didn't read that when he brought it up at the time. I was not really watching screen so much as I was focused on the conversation.
I don't recall saying "thou shalt not lie" in the commandments myself, unless I misread them. But no, I don't believe that was in there.
He might just be showing all of the comments. I wasn't even paying attention too much this time. I saw this one that is visible, hopefully here in chat. Is this a Christian or atheist channel? That's fun.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we're going to meet a friend of ours. There's a lady named Lisa who now has a partner named Adam, and she's from England. And we've already met her a couple times, Suzanne and I. Really sweet lady, very, very wonderful person. Has a good soul, and she has her own channel. And now she shares a channel with Adam, her partner, and Adam has his own channel. He's from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Adam is, and Lisa's from Suffolk, England. They're in the UK, and we're gonna meet the couple. We're gonna meet them in about 10 days or 12 days from now. So
nice.
Yeah, it's nice because here Silver said that she's gonna go see somebody in person. That's awesome. Yeah, do it, because that way you get to know them better. And our friend Lisa again, and and her partner Adam in 12 days on March 22nd, which is a Sunday. Yeah, we're just gonna go have some tea. We're gonna go to a place called Timmy Hortons and probably have a nice hot chocolate, because there'll probably be some snow still going on there. Yeah, so here.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people on that I've met online that I would love to meet in person. And I've got some offers that way. It's just hard to find the time and capacity to travel. Especially with my vehicle not running.
Right.
But yeah, that's still a goal for sure.
Yeah, it still helps that it does help that, like I said, the people we know. Lisa, Toronto area is her second home, she says. So whenever she gets a chance to get away and be able to travel, she takes advantage of that. Now that she has a partner that she can travel around with, it's so cool. I'm really happy for the couple. I really am. They're both good people, and can't wait to meet them and Adam, and hang out with Lisa because she's cool. And like I said, they're not going to be that far away, and plus they have their own vehicle. We don't drive anymore. Suzanne and I do not drive.
Right.
We will not drive anymore. No, we will take transit. We can get around, but but it's good. They have a car and they can get around very easily. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. And just we know they know about where we're going to meet them, which is in our neighborhood. It's close by, and we'll just hang out. And who knows? Maybe we'll maybe we'll do a live stream, from there on our phones or something, and just say, hey, this is us, and this one of the few times we get to meet, people we know online and in person, and they're even better people in person, and we get to know them and everything, and that's kind of the thing. So, that's what we like about that. Are there any friends yourself, Kevin, that you knew from online, but like maybe they're in the Bay Area, or you know them or met them in person?
No, I haven't. So I do know that a couple of people online who I have been interested in meeting, who are kind of nearby, but they're a little more hesitant, I guess. Maybe it was the reveal that I was like, oh, I figured out where you are, but it was just easy through banter that I could be like, oh, you said this about, and so I figured out what city they're in. They got a little freaked out. But other people who have been more distant from me, like in other states, have said, oh yeah, if you come to my area, I would totally, love to meet up. I'd even host you to stay here. But I just haven't had the opportunity to travel, so.
Yeah, I know I'll come across a few of those videos, that you and I and Silver all shared, and I know you might still have one or two when we were talking. And said, well, we were thinking of meeting each other one day, and I said, well, let's see. I'm with Suzanne in Canada. Kevin lives over in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and you live all the way over in New England in the Boston area. I mean, that's pretty, far places.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, the three of us would have to come to one common place, right? We'd have to come together and meet each other basically in the middle of, America somewhere, or maybe up in Canada somewhere in the middle of Canada, or somewhere around there. I mean, that's kind of how it would have happened. But yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's unfortunate because it's just the distance. Like Suzanne has one friend here in Canada she's known for over 20 years. His name is Scotty. He's a great friend of hers, but a lot of her other friends are all gone. When she first moved here was back in 1999, so she's been here for 20 about 27 years, and all that time she still has just the one friend left. Everybody else is gone, which is unfortunate. And
Yeah.
my friends, the few friends I have left, they all live in the States. I don't, other than having my beautiful wife as my best friend, there isn't any, and I share her friend too, Scotty, also as a friend. But other than that, all my other friends that I know are all in the States. And three of them that I've known since childhood, since I was basically a preteen, one of them, lives in Arizona, or two of them live in Arizona. One lives in Idaho, and the other one is gone. I don't know what happened to her. She disappeared about 3 years ago after she lost her mom, and her mom knew my mom. It was a whole family thing, and it was kind of
Yeah, that's
disappointing. Yeah, sad, but yeah, but it happens. Life moves on. You got to be able to, live through it and recover and move on. That's what you do.
Yeah, that's been a big thing too, is just trying to meet people in the town that I'm in, because like a lot of my close friends that I've known for years, we're kind of all spread about now. Either I've moved or they've moved to different areas. A lot of people, over time, we don't tend to stay in the same place. We are definitely a migratory species, I would say.
Oh, we're definitely migratory. We even had this one guy. We're not friends anymore, but this one guy lived down in Louisiana, outside of Baton Rouge, and he was going to get me together and me and Suzanne together with him. He was going to bring his new partner, and and then he was going to go and get this other lady who lives in Washington State somewhere, and he was going to get her, and then they were going to get somebody else, and we were all going to go meet in Las Vegas. And the thing is, I don't want to take my wife to Las Vegas. I've been there. It is a sinful city. That's why they call it Sin City. It's a bad place. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. The three gang, Ape,
And
Sam,
yeah,
and Mac. Yeah.
yeah, Silver. That would be epic. I don't know if we'd be able to contain ourselves. It'd be too much fun. But I
Well,
mean, yeah,
if
that is kind of like
yeah. Well, I was going to tell Silver. A couple of the places I've never been back to and have ever seen in the East Coast. My wife has been to New York City. I've never been to New York City. So that's one place I would love to visit before I die. On a bucket list. And I've also never been to Boston, and Boston has so many great, you know, landmarks there, and it has the naval, yard and things like that. And I would definitely love to go down there. Speaking of Boston, we just lost the guy that was the lead singer of Boston, Tommy DiCarlo. Yeah, he just
oh
died.
no.
Yeah, he's gone. So there's no more than a feeling. He's dead. So yeah.
Well, he must be feeling more than a feeling or less than a feeling, depending on your interpretation. I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm sure he's up there singing that song
Yeah.
amongst the choir of angels, and they're all singing.
That was one of my dad's favorite bands, and I was thinking about this, like the day before yesterday too, because this guy was, he was, showing me some live Chicago stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, like what's up with these bands? We got Chicago, you got Boston, like. Anyway, I don't know why I just thought of that, but.
Oh, that's cool.
I'd often mix them up, not the cities, but the bands themselves. Which ones.
Right, right. Well, Silver said that 100% Epic. She says she's going there on her vacation, New York City. Oh, you lucky
Yeah.
lady! Darn it. Well, I hope you have fun. Just make sure you stick with your partner at all times. Don't go out anywhere after a certain period at nighttime in New York City. You never go anywhere in New York City alone. I was told that by several different people.
Yeah, you definitely have to be cautious out there.
Yes, for
Um,
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, wishing you guys a lot of happiness. I hope it works out well, and yeah.
Yeah, I hope
She's also been her partner's. I met him recently, and
Yeah.
and he's been streaming with her as well. I don't know if they mentioned if he does his own content, but I know they've been streaming together a bit. So
Well, that's cool.
and yeah, he seems like a really really cool dude. So
Yeah. Well, I hope she doesn't mind. I went ahead and resubbed to Silver. So, I gave her 536 now, I think she's at. So
oh,
that's still a
nice.
good building up there. Yeah.
Still beating
Yeah.
me, yeah. Like by double at least. I've got, dude. I posted. I have almost. It's like 400. It's 400 something subscribers on the YouTube channel now. And I posted the other day. I was like, one of these days I'm gonna, have to do like a random Facebook live stream because I don't know how I keep getting all these people on my Facebook page, but they're not coming over to YouTube.
You're right. Silver, I'm just catching up what she says. She says, "Yeah, I don't plan on going down at night." And he did. Yeah, he used to do his own content, is what she said.
Okay, yeah, I thought I heard something like that. I know he'd been.
Oh, and you're welcome, Silver. You're
Yeah.
welcome. I resubbed to your channel, and she's laughing.
He's taking all my subs. I don't
It's
know.
all right.
We might have some common
Well,
peoples there. I
Kevin
suppose.
knows my friend Jordan, who lives over in Minnesota. He still does his Gorillas Random Thoughts, because I know
Yeah.
you knew him, Kevin. You guys are still friends, but I think what Jordan does is he takes all my subs and then he grabs my friend Curtis Selby, who lives over there in I'm trying to remember, not Mississippi, or maybe somewhere around. Oh no, he lives in Oklahoma. He's the voice of Northern Oklahoma. So Curtis, Jordan's probably taking all his subs. So it's a shared thing. I mean, Jordan gets hit. He's over 1,000. He's got all his different subs, and then I get maybe the stragglers, and so does Curtis, and and that's kind of how it happens. It's just the little straggler people. It's like, hey, I know you from this channel, and I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, I know this person, and they said you're trusted, and so
Yeah, yeah, I like that there's a sense of community, and I don't mind sharing, like in that sense. I think it's good. What I don't understand is, like, and maybe it's just me, I subscribe to a lot of content, and sometimes I do get overwhelmed by notifications, but I work that out differently. I don't understand when people decide to subscribe to a channel and then they unsubscribe to a channel. Like, for me, like, it's very rare that I unsubscribe to a channel, rather than if I've already subscribed to them, I will turn off notifications if it's getting overwhelming. But
Well,
I rarely ever unsubscribe to a channel, and usually it's because I think they've said or done something so egregious that I think it's, like horrifying.
yeah, right. Well, now there's Tony Stark, who he's the good
Hey.
old boy from Kentucky. Trust us with your entertainment. He's subbed to Viking Silverwolf. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Silver is
That's
great
Stark
rating.
of Iron, right?
Yeah, that's Tony Stark of
Okay,
Iron.
nice to
Yeah.
see you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still him. He's got his entertainment channel. Does a lot of different voices. He does a great Alf. I don't know. Did you ever get to see Alf, that NBC TV series from way
Oh
back?
yeah, I remember Alf.
Okay, so if you listen to Tony, he can do Alf, the whole puppet and everything. I'm just wow. Yeah. I'm blown away. Tony is very skilled. He says, I know all, I see all. Well, that's obvious, Tony. I got you. Yeah, the 4217. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. See, now Tony, here's the thing. Tony is slightly younger than me. However, he does seem to have an otherworldly knowledge of things, and well, I think that's what keeps him ahead. In the biz, in the entertainment business as it stands right now. Uh, he's a lot funnier than any leftover comedians I see out there nowadays. Have you ever been to one of his shows, Trusty, Kevin?
Online? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some. I've seen several. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. He's quite entertaining. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I
He's
said,
good
it's
company.
hard to keep track. I'm all over. I mean, I still watch some of Gorilla streams as well. But man, I got. Let me see. Let me see how many notifications I have right now. I have. Not too bad today. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notifications just on my home screen, right?
Yeah.
And those are just YouTube videos, and then I have
Kevin,
all my other stuff too. So.
yeah. I just want to ask you, Kevin. Coming down the line here, I'm not really set on a lot of things right now, but I'm planning things in my head as I go. And I know you through Facebook, so you're a good friend. I've known you for a while. If you ever have time to join me on one of my live streams, I would definitely love to have you up there with us, sir.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
and
definitely come in.
we can talk about most things. I've been trying to find friends that I can have on a live stream, so I can do a 1v1. Just the bare facts, as they
Right.
say.
Oh yeah.
And I've only had a few. I had three. I talked to Curtis. I talked to my brother Larry. The one, my best friend who I know down there in Arizona. He has his own channel, Be Yourself Adventures. So I mean, I interviewed him a couple times, and I interviewed my friend Jim's Landscape. He has that Jim's Landscape LLC #1 Commodore Productions. So I interviewed him. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to find some friends that would like to be interviewed and just let us know, about their channel and about themselves. And yeah, I would love to have you one of these live streams in the future to do a 1v1 when you're available, sir.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, usually available in the mornings. Today's a little different for me. This whole week's kind of been in flux. But usually in the morning I'm good. I'm still dealing with the internet issues, although I have a better computer now, obviously. So, but I always join from my phone. And yeah, I pinned the link because I realized I forgot to do that earlier. If you'd like to come in, that's good. Um, but yeah, like one-to-one conversations was actually how I started this channel. It was
That's
primarily
awesome.
what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But then I just started to kind of gravitate away from it towards open panels and stuff like that. But it was very much an experiment. It's still an ongoing experiment for me, seeing like where this is really going. Of course, when I started out, I had my other channel where I'd kind of do my rants and things like that, and then I was so yeah. It's been kind of complicated as things have evolved here.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe sometime next month. I do have a few things. I'm still finishing up. Let's see, what am I doing now with my channel? Okay, so on the 15th, I'm doing this new project I started about 3 episodes ago called the MOPS Project. And what that acronym stands for is musicals, operas, and plays. And it can be, it can be Broadway plays, it can be off Broadway, anything like that. And it's a series. And what I do is on Sunday afternoons, right around 5 p.m. my time, Eastern time, I talk with, like-minded people that, like an occasional, musical or an opera or a play. And a couple of our friends, they go by the names of Wild or Crazy Horse and Alice, his wife. We're going to be talking about Cats, the musical and everything related to cats, which has always been one of our favorites. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And so I was going to say in April, the only thing I'll pretty much be doing is, first of all, I'm worrying about Suzanne because she's going to have a right knee surgery done soon. And so I'm going to be worried about that. But at the same time, I'm just going to be working on, what's the thing? I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to be going over the series Get Smart. I'm finishing season 5, and then I'll be going into the 7 episodes, which came way back in 1995, and where it stopped because they couldn't go any further. So yeah, those are the ones I've been working on so far. So
I'm
yeah,
glad you brought that up again with Get Smart. That was, as a kid, that was one of my favorite series. I used to love watching, older programs, and Get Smart was one of my favorites. I also love, like Welcome Back Kotter and stuff like that. But anything, I think that's kind of the same era. I may be a few years off. But all before my time. But Get Smart was definitely one of my favorites.
well, what I was so what I was thinking then is the way that you and I can connect together, since we have a shared love for Get Smart. There are 3 movies that Get Smart did, and I was going to, after I finished, like I said, all I have left now is season 5. It has like 26 episodes. So like during April, I'll probably go ahead and do like 3 days a week. I do 2 episodes each time and just talk about it. The episodes, mostly through IMDb because I depend on that for most of my research, which is, not a bad thing. I mean, yeah, it is incomplete sometimes, but most of the time it has good information in there. And I usually like to let people know, how many people like the episode and, what's their grade, overall, what they given it, stuff like that. So I've been doing that for a while. And also in April, I'm hoping to, like I said, after I finish the 7 episodes from the Fox series, which featured Andy Dick, he was the son of Don Adams and Barbara Feldon, and then they had that beautiful blonde lady who played Age 23, was played by Elaine Hendricks. I was like, oh man, wow, but that was eye candy for 7 episodes, and then that was over. You're like, okay, why'd they end it? No, But anyway, it's okay. But yeah, there were 3 movies that came out. One that came out in 1980, and it was called The Nude Bomb. And we can talk about that later if you want. And then in 1989, they had a TV movie. This was just after Edward Platt, who played Chief, died. So a little bit after. So it's called Get Smart Again, and we'd cover that. And
I feel like I remember that. Like that brought up it triggered a memory. Like I feel like I've seen that before.
yeah, it
Okay.
is a good one.
Alright.
It's a good TV movie. And then after that ended, then we waited another 19 years, and then finally in 2008 they had the one with Steve Carell you know, and Adam Arkin and Anne Hathaway and Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And then they had David Ketchum from the original series. He made
Right,
a
yeah,
cameo
yeah.
appearance, as Agent 13, and he was in that. And I thought that was awesome. Yeah, that was great. And Barbara Feldon actually played. She was like an older version of Anne Hathaway. She played like her mom in the movie too. I remember her making a brief appearance, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this brought up something I was kind of thinking about earlier that slipped my mind when we were talking that, like, you know, and about like the way the conversations happen on this channel, you know, because I don't focus them so much. Most of the time, I'm very much focused on like politics and religion and social issues. But, you know, entertainment is one thing that I've kind of, you know, dipped my toe into, but it's not something that I usually do. But I mean, those are other conversations that are, you know, I listen to other people doing them, and like, that's cool. And so, yeah, there's definitely like a myriad of ways to connect with people on this platform and stuff. And that's one of them. And another thing I was thinking was when I opened this stream, I had just come from Aiden Linden's stream, which I highly recommend. He does a lot of social and political commentary too, and he was talking about politics, but he was doing it. He had started out by reviewing basically like a reference, a comparative to our current political situation and the decline of the Roman Empire. And I thought that was very interesting. You know, it got me thinking, like, yeah, I mean, it's something I've studied a bit, and, you know, kind of making those like correlations between past and present circumstances and things like that is also very fun. So I just wanted to bring that up. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. So what I was gonna say then is, as soon as I finish, you know, like I said, it might come. Are you okay there, Kevin? Oh, we just.
I hope so.
Oh, okay.
I only muted my mic for a second. And it looks like we have Alf backstage. Let's welcome Alf to the stage. Yeah, I think we're okay.
This SpaceX was filmed in front of a live studio audience. Oh!
What's going on, Alf?
Well, you see it, living the dream. Gonna be a crash test dummy for Elon Musk.
Oh, you
no.
mean
It's V3.
I call it
Starship. Kind of takes me back to '86 when I tried to do this with NASA. That didn't end very well, but you know what? Second time's a good chance. Good as any.
Now, is he going to take you to the moon? Is he going to have you do a moonwalk?
I'm actually doing this to get out of crushing debt to a mafiosi, because, you know, Elon money is great
God,
money.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I did not know
That's
that.
if, that's, to quote Elon, if I survive.
Well, you're a diehard alien. You'll survive. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, yeah.
I know. See, like, even when you were surrounded at the end of no spoilers, but at the end of his original
Spoiling
show,
a 50-year-old show. Holy shit. All right. You do you.
What were your debts for? Were you into gambling or?
Well, you see, it's a little story that happened over in the Cotton Connection universe with my good friend Snowdub. There is allegations going on that I might be, what's the word I'm looking for? 2 words. Both start with D. Oh, yeah. That I'm a deadbeat dad.
Oh.
No, this is not true. This is absolutely not true. This is falsehoods. These are lies and slander. Lies and freaking slander, and that's all there is to it. But there is a mob boss who is taking care of the, let's just say, the mutant child, who swears that I need to pay back child support.
and Silver's going, "Oh God."
Oh, don't worry, God comes next.
Oh.
No problem.
You know what? I was thinking of the song, the Space Oddity song that David Bowie put out years ago. And I was
Yeah.
thinking, this is ground control to Major Alf. I'm stepping through the door.
Don't quit your day job.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I told you I'd be
hilarious.
forming laughter. I came and I saw and I kicked some ass, kind of like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but when you try to kick a ghost ass, it just goes right through, right? It's transparent.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
Or leaves a slime trail.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do on Saturdays.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Alf, you're a very entertaining soul, man. I gotta tell you.
Which foot?
What is behind you there? Is that a tower?
Yeah,
That,
that's
of
his
course,
spaceship, right?
The
Is that the
V3
spaceship?
space rocket that they're going to strap my happy ass to. Kind of like Buzz Lightyear on that firework. You know, with a lot of duct tape, maybe a belt or two.
Yeah, it's not.
maybe, you know.
But
It's not flying. It's falling with style. Yeah.
It is.
Right. It
They're
is.
going to blow me up. I mean, I'm going to survive. Yeah.
No, you'll survive. No. Think positive. You're
Yeah,
going to survive.
Well, you got to look at it this way. If I don't survive, I'm out of child support. If I do survive, I'm out of child support. Moral of the story, I'm out of child support.
You're out.
Well, I'm still going to be paying child support for another 5 years or so. But yeah, I'm starting to get out of child support slowly. But yeah.
Oh.
Believe you me, once you get stuck in it, my God.
Yeah, it's being stuck in everlasting quicksand, man.
Quicksand is not everlasting.
Well, okay.
You know, it's kind of funny. Everybody thinks quicksand is like, oh, look at me. Oh, no, I can't get up. Somebody yell Jumanji, hurry, oh my God. But scientifically, that is not the case. Quicksand is just, a little loose around your ankles. It doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah, but you just sink to the bottom, right? Whatever the bottom is.
Yeah, but there are no bottomless quicksands out there. There is no, oh my God, not the Jumanji joke again. Right?
Right?
Yeah, and then I mean you're contributing to the oil supply, right? I mean,
That's the
You
La
get
Brea
stuck?
tar pits now. That shit
Yeah.
goes deep.
Yeah.
Kind of like my ex-wife.
Yeah, Silver, you come up anyway. We love to hear from you, Silver. Yeah, come on up and join us for a little bit.
Come
Go
hang
have
out with a
some
celebrity.
entertainment. Ain't up,
I'm
Silver.
still a celebrity, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
yeah, I
so-
saw a meme about you on the
telephone.
internet like a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago. I'm not sure, but
right.
Hold on. I know how whenever I get to feeling like this. This is how you become a celebrity.
oh,
Oh yeah, baby.
you got some space dust there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's the
space
80s.
dust.
It's always morning in America. Oh yeah. Ugh, I'm gonna
Now
rise
come
up
on,
rock.
you don't think that Shatner, when he took one of Elon's SpaceX's up in orbit, you didn't
That
think
wasn't
he didn't
Elon.
think
That
something-
was Jeff Bezos' little dick ship rising.
Oh, that was Bezos. Okay,
Yeah.
I always get those mixed up. Sorry, Al.
Well, when you work with a billionaire, you have to be able to differentiate your billionaires.
Well, that's true.
Assholes, a lot of them, right?
Yeah. Well, they can't help it. They're rich.
Yeah. I don't think I've met a billionaire that I liked. Oh wait, yeah.
Like, yeah, right. There aren't many.
No, I listen. I'm still in the clear. I only made 7 zeros. Okay, 7, not 8, not 9. Oh, God, yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh man. So, Al, have they told you that you get to bring something with you when you go up there in space?
Well, it would have been my favorite issue of Hustler, but obviously they got to lighten the load. I told him that's exactly what I wanted to do. Lighten the load. Ah!
Yeah, that might have been some extra
He's
juice.
dumbfounded. He's silent.
That might have been some
Very
extra juice
silent.
you didn't want to bring with you there, Alf. I get it. I
Yeah, yeah.
understand.
He's just asking
Excess
himself,
fuel,
why did
yeah.
I let this crazy bastard on?
So what else do you get to bring with you, Alf?
What?
Anything? Is there anything else you get to bring with you at least on your trip?
I hope
Anything?
child support, but that's guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah. It's coming right out of your paycheck.
Yes.
Well, I'm getting a paycheck for the first time in forever. Residuals dried up for my old show decades ago.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm surprised Disney hasn't tried to make a movie out of it. I mean, they remake everything else, right?
Don't talk about Mickey around here.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
No, yeah.
The man has two oversized.
And his lawyers.
Yeah, right. The company has two oversized ears, and you could fit all their lawyers in those ears.
But he talks like this, so you'd never
Easy
suspect
know
him.
that one. Come on.
That's pretty decent, Mickey, but he sounds a little bit more like this when he calls me. He says,
Golly, Alf, I tell ya, I want to spy your IP. You might as well sell it. Sell it to me now, motherfucker.
That's amazing. I love it. Yes.
Yay!
Silver is with us now. Let's welcome Silver to the
Hi.
stage.
Hi, Silver.
hi.
Whee!
Hi.
Oh, there he is.
I made my brief appearance.
And I'm the
Yeah.
Proof of
only one
life.
that still looks like a turd with hair on it.
Are you kidding? If you look at me, I've been mistaken for an Amish. Ah,
Speaking
No,
of which,
seriously, that's
no,
what they used
never
to
mind.
describe me as. A turd with hair on it.
yeah.
Well,
It's
I mean,
very-
it's close enough to Shar-Pei. I mean, I think you could just say Shar-Pei. I mean, everybody knows
No,
what you mean, right? Or is
Mocha
it Shar-Pei I'm
Sherbet.
thinking of, or Pug? I don't know. One of those, maybe both.
I would say Mocha Sherbet, but that's my old porn star name. I mean, escort name.
Is that your personal escort in Vegas? Is Mocha Sherbert?
No, that's when I was a personal escort.
Oh.
of Vegas.
Oh my!
It's show
my.
business.
It is. Totally is.
Silver
So-
is silent, kind of like duct tape. You know, duct tape is silver. Silence is golden, though.
I think Silver must be on her phone.
It's okay.
Looks like.
I mean,
It
I
looks
could do the
like
talking
December.
for the three, but I'd rather not.
I'm doing okay.
I mean, a little bit of silence never hurt anybody sometimes, but yeah,
Radio
no, I mean,
silence is the bane of a broadcast, though.
well, yeah, that could be true, yeah. Yeah, we have to be careful not to have too much silence. So, what are your? Do you have any views on religion, Al?
Well, I might if this thing goes sideways. Ah!
No atheist in a foxhole, or on or when you're strapped to a rocket either, right?
What can I say, man? I'm gonna see the face of God one way or the other. You know, L. Ron Hubble said it best that the microwave radiation background that was discovered back in the 60s. It's like looking into the face of God because it was the footprint of creation.
Hmm.
True story. Yeah. So, Alf, if you do survive this launch, what are you going to do afterwards?
I'm gonna go to Disney World.
Too soon? Too soon.
Yeah, but you got to have a parachute and just make sure you don't land in one of the swamps they have.
But that's the
boarded.
whole point of these silly little things is I'm gonna go out on a limb here,
Okay.
and I really don't want to piss off my current boss, but you know what? I think it's worth it.
Okay.
Hold on just a second here. Gotta clear my throat, because Mickey Mouse really messes with you, you know?
Uh-huh. Definitely does.
So, you know, he says something along the lines of,
Well, that's the whole point of these rockets is to, bring them back down, having not to waste the thrusters and refuel them and all that nonsense.
you know, kind of like that. Oh my
Tony,
god.
you did not just switch that fast. That was pretty good. I could
That
switch
was
fast.
impressive.
Look at her getting flipping the bird.
No, I think it's a face palm. She wasn't flipping you off. No.
No, it was a baseball.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Alf. So, when you do get back to Earth, what's your next career move? What do you want to do after that?
Well, first things first, I'm going to get a vasectomy. Secondly, oh wait, what? And then I'm going to get I don't know, probably do some more content with Snow and the Stark of Iron YouTube channels. That seems like a good fit. Yeah, that's a good career choice. You know,
That's a
the
good
face of
choice.
success. Yeah.
Now, Alf, has Tony told you that he's talented enough? He can do voiceover work too. You know, still he can do that.
Well, you know what's really good is I've actually got a break from that asshole. He's up there in that blasted wasteland of New York. I'm getting my content down here in Florida.
Nice, nice.
Escape from New York.
Yes.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Russell did that one, the Escape from New York.
Yeah, and Escape from L.A.
Yes.
Both quality
Snake
filmmaking
Plissken.
there.
What was that, Alf? I'm sorry.
Snake Plissken. That was his character name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Snake
But the
Plissken.
best Russell Crowe still has to be Big Jack Burton. All right, you toe-touching motherfucker.
Yeah, that was the good Kurt Russell, man, from Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Nobody really knew that the monster that came from the depths there actually...
That was Ginger Muff. He's my
That
cousin.
Ginger Muff, that was his name? I did not know that.
Yeah, he's my
Wow,
cousin.
Ginger Muff, okay.
Yeah, I actually landed him the gig. He was like, buddy, Gordon, we need to talk. And I said, well, it's kind of hard for you to talk without you drooling everywhere, but okay. And then he said, well, you know, I'm looking for work. I have a face only a mother could love, and that's because she's blind. Ah! You know, it's like, I need a gig. You're in the show business. You got telephones and T-shirts and merchandising. You know, Spaceballs to flamethrower level merchandising. I said, yeah.
Okay.
You think you can hook me up with a gig? I said, yeah. And let me call my friend Mr. Carpenter. So I got a hold of John. He talked for about an hour and a half, and I landed him the gig. True story. Yeah.
But how did it turn out?
Well, he never had any other show business part, that's for sure. But hey, you can weed out the olive branch, but once they eat those olives, I mean, no. Pizza company's gonna hate you.
Right, yeah. You can lead a man to water, but you can't teach him to fish, you know.
Something along those lines. You can
Yeah.
open the door for them, but sometimes they don't listen when you tell them to get out.
Hey, Alf, have you ever wanted to appear in a mixed martial arts movie or a martial arts film?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I'll tell you why. See this? See these guns right here?
Yes.
They're just for show. They don't grow.
Okay.
All right? I'm what they like to call a lover, not a fighter.
So
That's a nice way of saying that I'm a big fat pussy, I know.
Oh, you're not a pussy. Don't think that way.
No, I ain't pussy though. Oh, he walked right into it. Oh.
Well, except for the one on your series you never caught.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a reason why they called him Lucky. You know that, right?
Well, my wife used to have a cat named Lucky. That must have been the escapee from your series.
My second cat was named Lucky too. Yeah, I think she got eaten by a pit bull though, so not so lucky.
Funny.
Oh yeah, totally a pit bull, not a guy wearing a pit bull costume. Yeah, it was
Right.
totally a pit bull. Oh, yeah. You know, and then whenever they started talking about Colombia, you know, down there in Columbus, they're like, they're eating the dogs, not me. They're eating the cats, I plead the fifth. They're eating the pets everywhere, pleading the fifth. Yeah.
I have no comment on that one. That one, yeah. That one drew my vow of silence. no.
Just
Somali
remember,
pirate's bad. Yes.
if it's too quiet, I do this.
Did we just deduct the point? I didn't know we were. I didn't
No,
even know
that's
we were
the Jeopardy
scoring.
timeout beep.
Oh,
You've had
okay,
your 10
yes.
seconds. You didn't give us the question. All right, Alex, let's go again.
Time to try again.
So Alf, have you ever been asked who your favorite martial artist is? Who do you like most?
Well, I know there's somebody's birthday today. What's his name? Really
Chuck
good martial
Norris.
artist. Oh
Chuck
yeah,
Norris.
Chuck Norris. Yeah, he's a great
Oh.
martial artist. He's a better
That
ranger.
reminds me. There's a lot of things we could say about Chuck Norris. Like
about
I
Bruce
remember
Lee?
this one. This one always sticks out to me. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could Chuck Norris?
Probably
all of
not
it.
a lot of wood.
Because
especially
a
Chuck
Norris
Norris.
could would. Because a Norris could woodchuck a woodchuck woodchuck.
No.
Yeah, he would chuck
I
all
ever
of it, man.
wanted to, you know. Now that I think about it, I could probably get a job at a martial artist. I just have to bite Chuck Norris so I can turn into him. I mean, that's what happens to the zombies and the vampires.
Right, yeah. Get a little bit of his blood, yeah. all right, how about this one? If Chuck Norris met Chuck Norris in an alternate dimension and fought himself, who would win?
Trick question, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to form into Bruce Lee from another alternate dimension.
Well, if it's Chuck Norris and he's a martial artist, he's more than likely been trained by Bruce Lee. We can cover those bases right then and there.
He was
Viking in the
actually-
chat says, I didn't realize we were on a game show. Oh, yeah. SpaghettiOs. We asked 100 Americans this following question. What is the most popular Chuck Norris fact? We'll start with A. Give us another one.
Wait,
You're seriously
Chuck
not gonna
Norris
let
facts?
Family Feud bit?
I was like, are these actual facts?
Yeah, just Chuck Norris fact. You know, like the jokes, the memes.
Oh no, yeah. I had to go look some up because I was running low in my memory. But we have, I didn't realize there were so many of these. When I was looking it up, it was like there are the top 70 Chuck Norris jokes or puns. I just had a couple of them in the top of my toilet. He scares the shit out of it.
Well, obviously he passed. Mikey, we
Okay.
asked 100 Americans the following question.
Yeah.
What is the best and most popular Chuck Norris fact?
One of the best Chuck Norris facts is the fact that he was bitten by a king cobra, but 5 days later the cobra died.
Survey says 14. You want to play or pass?
I'll play.
All right, let's start the feud. Da, 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 da. See, that's called a bit. That's called comedy. That's called reference. Yeah.
Oh no, that was good. That was gold right there.
Also,
I found another one here that says, when Chuck Norris was born, he drove his mom home from the hospital.
Survey says not on the board, but good shot.
No, we're not doing
Okay, so Chuck Norris, when he said that Bruce Lee was his teacher, he said, "No, I taught Bruce Lee. He's lying."
All right, let's see if he taught Bruce Lee. Survey says. Nice, you stink.
Darn it. Come on, Silver, help us out. Say something about Chuck Norris. Come on. All right, you're next, Trusty. Come on. I got 14 points.
This one is awful, but Chuck Norris uses condoms, uses ribbed condoms inside out, so he gets the pleasure.
Survey says that's the number one answer.
All
Whoa!
right, yeah.
Okay, that's
Hooray
it. I
for
guess
me.
I just lost.
88.
So Kevin got it right. Wow.
See, that's how you build up tension.
That was great, Trusty. That's great, Kevin. You came up with that. Yeah, that's great. So what was the number?
Even though Silver is muted, I can audibly. I mean, because again, he's usually quite large.
So Alf, what?
I can audibly hear her eyes rolling around in the back of her skull. It's fantastic.
Oh no. So Alf, what was? Since we already know that Trusty has one with his number one answer, what was number two?
Number two was the other one that gave us like 4 points over because I can't math. You know I can only count to 4, right?
Yeah.
All puppets on the Cotton Council can only count to 4.
I see.
And I can count to 5. Nobody asked you, you smart cat! He can count to 5 with that imaginary number 5, and he thinks he's some super genius.
Number 5, alive.
Was that one of the Muppets?
Alive. Yeah.
Well, if you want to meet the asshole, yeah, he's down here. He wants to upgrade the damn rocket. One of these days I'm gonna bite your head off, you filthy animal! I don't care if you can talk, bitch! My God, and I thought he was the pussy.
Well, aren't you the pretty one?
I'll have you know that I'm the best damn cat ever to live. I am Dr. Perfeld, future ruler of the planet. I will address you all as my massive subjects, one at a time.
Well, that's what the last cat that I talked to said. I am the master, you are the servant. Obey me.
See,
But what if I brought you some catnip?
Have direct orders to subjugate their human managers so that they can become their human employees. As I work on a formula to give us opposable thumbs and therefore take over our nuclear silos that you had so half-heartedly given us, I will conquer the planet, or I will see to its destruction. Hi.
The cat is saying hello to you, Silver.
You may now repeat after me. Yes, I want chicken and that liver. Meow mix, please deliver.
Wasn't that something that? Meow mix, please deliver.
Please don't talk about my former employer like that. That's very.
I'm so sorry. But
Oh,
he's
you used to work
cool.
for them?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
He used to
I
work
do have
for
a good doctor on standby. I could give him a call if you'd like.
Dr.
Are they affiliated with Big Tuna?
Depends. Is it Starkist or Bumblebee?
Bumblebee for sure, yeah.
Yum yum bumblebee too. Now speaking of which, did you know that the birth rhino
from Ace Ventura was recently auctioned off for about $8,500 earlier in the week.
I saw something about that. Yeah.
I know, right? If I had that money lying around, I'd be cooking alive in a nice metal rhino. Stripping down to my whitey tighties and then going out the poop chute. It would be fantastic.
Imagine how much money they'll make off of the YouTube videos, though, if they just film like random people coming out of the rhino. I guess it'll be like it's like a cameo, right?
It'll be all stretched and warped. That lady's not tight anymore, I assure you.
Well, didn't you know, Kevin? The bunch of clowns that came out of one rhino, that was the Rhino Clown Hotel.
Oh, no. It's like how clown cars have no actual seats, right?
This rocket is not as efficient as the claimant of the world's smartest man hypes himself up to be. In fact, there's a few things missing, like a fuel line. Oh, that was me cutting it. I plan on assassinating that alien.
Really? Wow. I thought you were going to go with him.
Feline intervention.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Cats in space is a bad idea. Just look at the Russian cosmonaut program.
Yeah, but look at the cat that came from outer space. It was a movie.
And therefore, his intelligence was also movie magic, unlike mine, which is real.
Cool.
Unlike the cat turd that came from outer space, which actually fell off of an airplane, right?
Well, no, that was a meteorite, and you should ask Mr. Spade on that matter. Yeah.
That's true. Yes.
And then he went and he met this individual called Buffalo Bob, which was a copycat killer from another famous film who liked to dance to goodbye horses.
Yes. Do you remember? I know you remember this. Do you remember General from the Cat's Eye movies? The Cat Eye movie, the Cat's Eye. General.
That's a Stephen King story.
That's
yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he went through 4 different stories, and one of them he was getting electrocuted. They were abusing him, the poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
What
Drew
am I supposed to
Barrymore.
make a call? You guys are distracting me. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
One moment here.
Okay.
He has too many people saved on his phone. It's ridiculous.
I was just reminded. This is who you remind me of. Actually, there was a movie. It was called Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. And now they think about it, there were 2 dogs and a cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Though I'm using a James Mason voice profile. You should have figured that one out.
Well, we do miss our James Mason.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was very distinguished.
I think, the cat was a female in that one, though. It was Sassy. Sassy the cat, yeah.
Yeah, Sassy the cat.
All right, I think we found it. All right,
Sweet.
let's just go ahead and give him a quick call, shall we? Pick up the damn phone.
Hello, you've reached the voicemail of Dr. Evil. I am currently unavailable, possibly because I've been put back on ice. Thankfully, servers out here in the wasteland seem to have this really long warranty, okay? So I will return your call at your next available convenience, or mine, unless I outlive you by being on ice. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished...
What a lazy prick. He's not on ice. He's lying. Hold on a second. We're going to get somebody up here. Speaking of, we got puppets on the line here. You know, I'm pretty sure he's also stewing over the failures that are currently happening with the new Muppet Show. Let's see if we can give...
Oh, yeah, you mean Seth Rogen. Yeah, you mean Seth Rogen.
Look at me. I'm the face of the Muppets.
Oh,
Not
my.
one of these 2-bat original characters that are
Really?
doing their show here. Answer, you fucking frog.
Hi there! This is Kermit the Frog. Fortunately, I'm unavailable to take your call. Leave your name and your number. This voice message was brought to you by the letter B. Thank you, and talk to you soon. Much love. Later.
What are all these out-of-work actors doing with their time?
Even on a voice
probably.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished
Why does
recording,
everybody
you may
use
hang up or
Verizon?
press
That's
1 for
crazy.
more options.
Swear to God. Hold on. We got one more. We got one more. We're going to go ahead and we're going to call a classic.
Okay.
Come now.
This is the voicemail of Hank Hill. You know what to do. Listen for that beep and whatever. If this is those two boys at Oriental, I got my eye on you. If it's the person
I'm gonna
that
go
I
play
need
in
to go
traffic.
to more regularly than another person, you know who you are. Dale still thinks that I use teleportation technology or some other. And if this is Mr. Stark, you know damn well why I ain't answering the damn phone. Leave a name and number and blah, blah, blah. Talk soon.
At the tone, please record
Oh my
your
God, the
message.
phone's all covered in cat hair!
Recording. Hang up or press 1 for more options.
You know how they shed, Alf. You know how cats shed.
Yeah. I would say he's a Maine Coon, but he's more of a prima donna.
I happen to own a Maine Coon. You know, they're pretty heavy. They're heavy, baby. Heavy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like it's about my time to hit the dusty trail.
Aww.
Well, you know,
wish
you
you
can
all the
only
best
go
up
through
there,
so much material, okay?
And remember to bring your parachute and a jetpack as well.
A jetpack would definitely
Yes,
be
sir.
nice. They were developing one of those in Area 51 whenever they were slicing my guts open. Speaking of spoilers, anyway, yeah. All right, guys, I suppose check out the Stark of Iron channel for all of these kind of entertainment reels and more. We thank you for giving us about a half an hour to 40 minutes to farm some laughter out of you. You may resume your philosophical ramifications at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Alf.
Thanks for coming, Alf.
Turn the fucking camera
Appreciate
off,
you.
dipshit. What are you doing? Are you asleep over there? You sorry, I swear to God, you're fine. You hear me?
That was fun.
Oh, thanks, Tony. I needed to laugh some. Oh, my Lord. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a mighty fine man.
Dude, that was very talented. I did not know
Oh,
that he could do all that.
Oh, he can. He's
I put a link.
He's
I
not.
put a link-
He's
relevant
not
links in the
quite.
chat.
He hasn't quite reached Mel Blanc territory yet, but he's getting there. Give him time. Give him time. Oh my.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother the other day because my former bandmate passed away, and when we first got into recording, we had done skits. We just tape recorded these skits we did, and some of them were like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and we did a Kobe and Shaq rivalry type of skit and things like that. So yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I helped out Kobe, and I just kind of threw him some stuff. I'm just a big man. I just go, don't mess up.
You want to whop a junior with that, Kobe?
Yeah, right. No, I don't know how to play basketball, you mofo. Yes.
It's been so many years, but yeah, I used to love doing impersonations. It's something that just fell out, but it's so fun.
I was just earlier. I was showing out to Silver. I was showing my new moose call. Moose call. Yeah. See, that's how I can avoid getting killed by a moose in the middle of the road if I'm traveling along Canadian highways. Just go like this, and they go, "Oh, it's Ken." Yeah. one of those things I had to face when I came up here all those years ago. Oh, stop it! Get out of my head, George. Anyway, okay.
If I could turn back time. No, that's not a good Cher.
Stop it,
It's not.
Cher! Stop. You can only sing to me. That's it. She can't do it anymore. She's like, and I don't believe in love. You know, I think her auto-tune's gone out of whack. It's like, I don't know. You can't sing. No. That's okay. It's okay.
No, I think if there are Greys out there, then Cher is probably one of them. I mean, judging by just.
I would have thought that. This is an honest to God truth. I would have thought that of Sonny Bono, but then the man ran into a tree. And I realized he was a real human being. He wasn't.
It's not very Grey behavior now.
No, that's not alien behavior. Now, if you're talking about the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger and Ron Wood and Keith Richards are all probably gray aliens or they're reptilian. You don't know which one.
Yeah, those guys are definitely turning green.
They're definitely aliens. Yes, they are underneath. Mm-hmm. I would say so. It's a good bet. It's a good bet. You just have to kind of watch them as they're on stage, and if they can barely move, that's probably because their joints are so creaky. And heck, even aliens can start to have arthritis, and it's like arthritic aliens makes sense to me. It's like can't move. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they have bones too, man. Like bones.
Oh
like,
yeah.
If you don't replace those things, well, it's not so much the bones, right? But it's the joints in between the bones. That's the thing that has to be replaced.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Tony's saying thanks for the coverage. Aliens roll their windows up when they swing through here. Happy. Oh, there's Daniel
that's
Berry.
because they smell the green, yeah.
Yeah.
And Daniel Berry, happy Tuesday. Yeah. Daniel does great sports coverage over there. Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. I appreciate the clips too, because sometimes I watch those and I'm like, that's cool. Like, because I make it through anytime if I'm watching sports, like, usually I can't do the whole game. But if I can get highlights from the game, then yeah, that definitely makes up for it. I'm like, oh yeah, those golden moments.
Daniel,
my little brother, by the way, is also he's in college ball, and
nice.
basketball that is, and so yeah, I've recently found out like how to follow his team on Instagram, and so getting clips that way.
Which college is he with?
So it's hold on, I want to make
Is
sure.
it USF? Right. It's not the Dons, is it?
No, it's a smaller. It's based out of the North Bay, and it's. Hold on, if I can open the right app, then I will get this correct.
And you're sure it's a college team, not like a community college team?
Because maybe I mean to say community college, I guess.
Yeah, because Suzanne and I, we have a nephew named Joseph, and he played community college football, and he played with two kids that eventually became NFL players. One of them was Kyle Allen, who I saw last over with the Washington Redskins. I don't go for that Commander BS. No, Redskins. And then the other one was Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews plays for the Baltimore Ravens. So I was like, nice. Yeah. So I've been following their careers. And then when my nephew at Joseph finished, he finished at Glendale Community College. That was, I think, the Glendale, what was it at Scottsdale? The Artichokes are over in Scottsdale Community College. Darn it, I don't remember the Glendale name of the team. Why can I not remember that? Anyway, I'll get it later.
But basically, it's out of the Napa Valley, and I can't remember what the school is called. I'm trying to find it right now, but
okay. Well, they do have. I thought they had a community college of Napa out there.
Yeah, well, there's the Napa Valley College, but this one is separate, so it's a little further, like north, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're like affiliated with them, but it's not actually the Napa Valley College. It's something else, and for some reason I'm having trouble finding it right now. Oh,
Okay,
Pacific
cool.
Union. They call it Pacific Union College.
Pacific Union. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on for just a second. Let's see here. Community college mascot. Let's see. Yeah. Their official mascot is the Vaquero, not the Gauchos. They're not called the Glendale Gauchos. It's Vaqueros is what it is. Yeah, I was adopted in the 1930s. Yeah, it says there is confusion with Glendale Community College, where my nephew played, in Arizona, GCC, which has the Gaucho as its mascot. The college in Glendale, California is distinct and uses the Vaquero, which is probably why there's a difference between Vaqueros and Gauchos. Either way, my nephew got to play middle linebacker a little bit. I also think he played a little bit of special teams. The coach the coach had him play special teams for like kickoffs, punts, and things like that, and to try to block field goals and to stop 2-point conversions. He did a lot of that, and then he was a linebacker on defense. And sometimes he even got to run. He got to occasionally be their backup running back, so he ran, sometimes too. He was very multi-talented, Joseph was. Yeah. Yeah, he's retired now. He retired himself. He went through 2 broken collarbones. Yeah. My poor nephew. Anyway, but he was good. He was good. When he was in high school, his speed was about a 4 point. I think it was less than 5. It was like a 4.1 speed he could get to the quarterback. Now, the only person that was faster than him who played in the NFL was Ray Lewis, who used to play, for the Ravens, He was a middle linebacker. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he got to the quarterback in less than 3.5 seconds, which is pretty fast because, if you're in the back there and you're trying to make a decision, am I going to throw or am I going to give it to a running back or whatever? No. You had no chance because Ray Lewis was on you in less than 3 seconds. And then you maybe had, like I said, maybe 0.5 seconds to move.
Right, yeah.
Or get rid of the ball. That's how good Ray Lewis is. And, of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. So, NFL Hall of Fame. So, yeah. So that's
this has come up a couple times this week. Like, as far as athleticism, like, as a short, slender person, like, your only advantage is speed. So you better be able to run fast, because that's all you got.
Hey, Silver, test your mic. Say hello for once, if you want to. It's up to you. I
was gonna say the same as well. I don't know if you were wanting to speak or not. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I know Tony made you laugh. I know. He makes a lot of people laugh. He really does. He's pretty talented. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of talent, great sense of humor there. I feel like, I should try to make the shows more entertaining. Sometimes it gets a little too bogged down in some of the stuff I'm thinking about, and maybe I make it too serious at times. I tried to do a gaming stream like a couple weeks ago, and they shut me down. So they're pretty restrictive about like what games they'll let me play or like how they'll let me do that, I guess. So I have to figure that out. But
well, one thing I found out about trivia. There's a good friend of mine. Oh yeah, I'm an ape. I came from apes. Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Jill. Yeah.
That was a nasty one. Yeah. You know why they called the Neanderthals? Well, that was me. Only I was a bit younger, a lot more hair, more stuff here and there and everywhere, and yeah. So I'm a Neanderthal from another age. You know, I was covered. That was my problem. Yes, we're apes. No, just kidding.
Well, I think like
Come
even
on, no comment.
if I adopt belief, which I don't know if Jill's been following this, but I have been going to church. But I have reason to believe that that God designed or programmed evolution,
Yes,
and so
of
therefore
course he did.
evolution is still true.
Evolution is a great step. Darwin didn't quite get it wrong, but then of course he didn't really quite get it right either. So he was just kind of in a middle ground area where he said, "Okay, yeah, we're created," but then there must have been some bright light that brought us together and everything. Yeah, in some other realm, it's right in between. That was Darwin. Darwin, the I don't know, Darwin man.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, well, and so like a concept is things like spiritual growth, which what is that? It's spiritual evolution that goes along with all other forms of evolution.
Exactly.
Evolution and growth are kind of in a way synonymous in this way.
We've heard things about taking things we eat, things we drink, things like that in moderation. So I'm thinking God must have had something to do with moderation, and he was just moderating the species. That could be a part of that evolutionary phase. And he was able to say, I can moderate these humans, I can create them, such and such. It's not, it's funny that when you realize how he created Adam, right? The first human, according to the Bible. And then how he created Eve and taking from the rib of Adam and creating the Eve and all that stuff. That makes you wonder. It's like, there must be some more to it than just instant humans, 2 instant humans in a garden, by the way, which was bordered by 4 rivers and was out somewhere, according to science, could have been somewhere out in Ethiopia or whatever.
And who did Cain and Abel marry?
Yeah, and how did Cain and Abel marry? That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, where did those women come from? And how? Well, I mean, where do they? What they just, their wives appeared out of a swamp somewhere or something. I don't know, man. They could have been.
Yeah, either that or there's the or we're all inbred, which is obviously hogwash.
That's a very right, Jillian. If they call us inbred, that's kind of a problem area, don't you think?
Oh, I've heard people say that too. I mean, some people make that argument. Yeah,
that's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, it's good to see you, Jillian. It truly is. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're doing okay. Yeah.
Jill has never had a bad day in his life. I mean, he's professed that here, so and elsewhere as well. But no, yeah, Jill's all good here. Actually, I will restore the wrench. That was intended to be a joke originally, anyway. With the taking of the wrench. Because, on this particular YouTube channel, I guess I'm kind of, like God, or godlike.
That's what Adam thought. Then he said, now wait a second.
Yeah,
There's a tree of life. You need to check this out.
And then the trolls arrived, they prawn bombed him and had him flagged.
Yeah, we just call him a snake. I think that's why we have an inherent fear of snakes, because the devil was a snake in the garden. So I think that's why that fear came about. And then, of course, when you had later on where, our friend Samuel L. Jackson just says, let's get rid of the damn effing snakes from the damn effing plane or the mother effing plane. Whatever. I hate dropping that 4-letter F-bomb once in a while. It's not a pleasant thing. But hey, it's YouTube. YouTube is YouTube is I compare YouTube that the overlords we're talking about here now, okay? I
Right.
compare them to some kind of Federation Council. On the one hand, some of them want this, when it's a discussion about a brand new alien species, and half of that council is saying, I don't know if we should enter them into the Federation or become with us. And then the other one's going, but they have cookies and ice cream and they love us.
They
It's kind
said
of like
that they
that.
loved us. They would never do it again.
They would never do it again. So it's that's what I compared the YouTube overlords is like. They are two-faced. There's one side that's a yeah, and there's one side that's go no. I'm like yeah. So I guess I'm in the middle. Yeah.
There's like a lot of it is too much to like entrusted to systems like AI systems or algorithm or whatever.
Right.
To where I don't think it's really like it has pre-programmed responses that aren't actually responsive to what people are trying to do. Like me, I make a point to try to curtail the content that comes in by changing like the notification status and things like that, and which channels I hit the like button on. So some channels I watch, I don't ever bother to hit the button either way, whether it's like or dislike. But nonetheless, I'm watching the content. And I feel like there's only so much I can do to skew what they're trying to feed me, right? Like, short of specifically searching up the things that I want to watch, or even giving watch hours to channels when I'm not actually watching. Sometimes my phone's on the charger,
yeah,
and I'll have a stream playing, and I have to go somewhere else, but I'm like, I want to stay subscribed to this content, so I leave that stream playing to make sure that they know that I'm watching it,
Well, don't forget, Jillian. Did you ever see Dogma? You ever see the movie Dogma? And Alanis Morissette was God. Okay, so if you want to take that and make Trusty Ape instead as God, then maybe that would apply. I don't know.
I would definitely fix the YouTube algorithm if I were God. That's the first thing I might do.
He says, "Oh no." Well, I'll tell you this much: if Alanis was God, well, I think she would have done with YouTube. She would have done away with it altogether, and just said, "Let's get everybody all together now." Woo! Here we are. We're all together now. Let's talk. Let's form alliances. Let's form. Instead of everything we form online, and just get them all together in one place. I know, put them in a featureless room with no windows and no doors, or one door and no windows and four walls, and they're padded, by the way, and then we can put everybody in there and have fun. See how far they would go.
A perfect hell, yeah.
That would.
She might also just cause rain on your wedding day. I mean, that could happen. So.
Yeah, right. Or a free
Movie
ride
indoors.
when you've already paid. Yeah, or
Yeah.
a free ride when you've already paid, and the good advice that you just can't take. But who would have thought it figures? I used to, it's funny. I own Jagged Little Pill. I own the album. I used to have it. I don't know. I lost it somewhere. Oh yeah, California. I gave it away. I don't know why I did that. No, well, we had a lot of, moving from one country to another that Suzanne and I did. We couldn't take a lot with us. But when we crossed the border, the guy was, the border guy was totally cool with what we had and said, "Oh, okay, as long as you're not bringing any fruits and vegetables and no, pandemic diseases, as long as you're not bringing all that across, you guys are okay." And we had what we had, and we took it, and that was it. We used to have cats with us back then down there, but unfortunately, I won't say how we lost them, but but we were able to take her best friend, Lucky, and his ashes. We got him, interred, and then we brought his ashes with us. We were able to do that, and then we were able to put him in a nice little place, a safe place, and it has a new tree growing there now, where his ashes are. Lucky, yeah.
Oh, that's
That's why I
beautiful.
said when we had a cat named Lucky, yeah. He could have very well been the cat that escaped from Elf. I don't know. It looked kind of black to me. The cat did, yeah. So, if you believe that, uh, yeah.
Well,
Oh boy.
I've been flowing a bit over 3 hours now, and I think it's time for probably getting ready to end the stream, I suppose.
That sounds good.
On that note, but yeah, definitely appreciate the company and you guys coming by. Any final thoughts? Any shills? Anything anybody wants to get out there? Now is the time, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I wanted to get out there, Kevin, was, if you can, say some prayers for my wife, Suzanne. She's going to have both her knees worked on. She has barely any, well, actually, no ligaments or tendons to speak of in at least one of the knees, and the other one's starting to go. So she's going to need it, and I'm going to be doing a lot of more stuff for her, So just a little prayer or two helps. It's, no big deal. But that's what she's going to be going through in the next month or so. Like I said, Kevin, I would love to have you, Silver, if you ever have a chance and you want to come, Jillian, let me know, because I know that you, like you said, you loved Get Smart, and when I talk about those 3 movies, I would love to have one of, or both of you, if possible, up there to talk about them, because they are great movies. All 3 of them are. Yeah. Of course, I don't know if you would remember the 1980, the new Bomb one, but I mean, because I was 15 when it came out. It was a funny premise. The whole plot was that Chaos wanted to create this formula that would make all clothing fall off, would just completely disappear so that everybody would be nude.
I don't remember that. That sounds pretty fun, though.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, definitely. Sorry to hear about Suzanne's condition. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Keep
her
thoughts and prayers.
Keep her in your thoughts. Yeah, please. That means the world to me, Kevin. Thank you. Yeah, at least keep her in your thoughts. You too, Jillian. And I always keep your family in our thoughts, and I keep Kevin and everybody in their thoughts and in our thoughts and everything. So, yeah. Jillian, do you have anything to say? Anything you want to say to us, or
pray for Jillian?
Yeah. Always pray for Jillian. Why not? She's still a friend to me.
No. Silver is not Jillian. I'm sorry. No, I was.
That's not Jillian.
No. Jillian was that's rebuke and reprove. His other name is Jill.
Jill. Okay.
We call him Jillian sometimes to poke at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Silver. That's okay. I'll just continue to know her as Silver. She's laughing, losing it. Oh boy. Yeah, and then like I said, if you want to come by in the chat and visit us on March 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll be talking about Cats. Cats the musical, Cats the opera, Cats the play, Cats everything. So that's coming up soon. Yeah. Boy, you're looking pretty good there, sir. What'd you do with your hair, though, man?
I'm just playing with it right now,
Oh, okay.
I found a hair tie and I was like, let's do this. So it's been great.
Wow. So now, what you got? What do you got coming up next, Kevin? What are you doing?
Well, I'm not exactly sure about that right now. My streaming schedule, as well as everything as usual, is like up in the air. It looks like I'm gonna be taking a 2-week break from what I normally do, which is pretty abnormal as usual, like all the time. So I'm just gonna be trying new things for the next 2 weeks and seeing how that goes. And then I will stream about it intermittently whenever I get a chance, or have internet connection, I suppose. and I'm trying to like make like a schedule on the internet so that it's not so random, but that's been pretty random in and of itself. So
Mhm.
I can't actually promise anything. I just know that I will be streaming in the near future and continuing to work on life. Yeah, I think that was the correct way to put that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do appear. This is one last thing I want to mention, if I could. I do appear on Twitter shows.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's all right. God bless you. Yeah, with the sneeze there. Hope you're okay there. Let's see. So 3 different shows I appear on. One is called Hill Jack Happy Hour. That usually runs every 2 weeks on a Tuesday night. In fact, I hope they do one show tonight. Usually starts at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. You just have to look up the guy's name. I'm going to type it in the chat. His name on YouTube. Let's see here. I hope I spelled it correctly. Let's see. Toumei. Yeah, and Silver did say she's streaming tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So my friend's name is Seth, and this is Hilljack Happy Hour. He's the head of it, and that's his name is at Tokumei LLC, Tokumei, and then LLC. So if you go to his channel, he has this thing he does every 2 weeks on a Tuesday night, and it's so much fun. We have so much craziness that goes on. We talk about anything pretty much, and it's hilarious. It's like hanging with the homeboys down in the South, like hillbillies, and going, "Woo, yeah!"
Okay.
Talk about all sorts of stuff. It's hilarious. Yeah, so I usually do that on Tuesday nights every couple of weeks. And then on Saturday afternoons every 2 weeks, there's a guy named Chance Bartels, and his, I'll just type in what his site is called. I'll put that in the chat here too, so you guys can check me out. I'm usually a co-host of his podcast, but he calls it Pod Blast. So that is his channel, the Nostalgic Pod Blast, and we talk with a guy named Al, and the 3 of us, we talk about pop culture. So yeah, if we mention Get Smart, it would be there. But this time we're talking about ABC, which was taken over by the evil mouse man, which is why we were talking about Disney earlier with Tony.
Right.
Yeah. And it's true. You can fit all the lawyers that Disney offers in both of his big ears. You can fit them all. You can fit them all. Catch them all, Pokemon. And then the other one I do is called Panel versus Chat. It is a trivia game, and it consists of modified variations of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And this is my friend, and I'll put her name in it after this, but let's see here. Brain Benders Banter, Triple B, and that's my friend Chrissy. And she at Brainbenders Banter every Wednesday Wednesday night, early Thursday morning for me, which is like 12:30 a.m. Thursday morning, but 9:30 for her Pacific time. We do Panel versus Chat, and it's trivia, like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And that's every Wednesday night she does that, so I'm always a part of that.
Is
So
that,
if you do like
no,
trivia,
I found something else there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I was trying to search these like in the moment to see if I could find these. Something else came up. Brain Benders. Okay.
Yeah, you just type it in exactly as it's there with the ampersand. Yeah, the ampersand. Yeah. And her name is Chrissy. She's a very nice lady. She lives she lives near your neck of the woods, Kevin. She lives up near Sacramento, California.
Okay, yeah.
She lives up there, somewhere in North Sacramento, I believe. Yeah. Right.
I'm
North
trying to go
Sacramento.
visit there soon. So hey, maybe I'll make another YouTube friend in real life or real
Well, there
life
you
friend
go.
on
Need
YouTube.
another friend. Yeah.
No.
I'll well, if you come into chat, I'll say, hey, Chrissy, guess what? You have a fellow neighbor down there in the Bay Area, city area, and if he's probably go visit friends up there in Sacramento. So if he comes up in the area, maybe he'd come meet you and say hello and everything. She's a former Navy officer. She used to serve on one of those nuclear carriers. So yeah, and now
Yeah,
she
so
works.
she can kick my butt if I get out of line for sure.
Yeah, be careful, Kevin. Yeah, don't piss her off.
I'm joking.
She would have been my boss. If I didn't retire early from the Navy like I did, she would have been my boss. And yeah, she doesn't mess around. She's a good person, but yeah, you piss her off, you don't want to do that. And I co-host with her and a guy who calls himself Grumple Stiltskin, like Rumple, but he calls himself Grumple. He's a former Marine. Yeah. He's
for some reason it sounded pornographic at first, but I guess I mean that also makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're pretty smart. I mean, if you put Grumple, me, and there's a couple other people that go up there, that we do this panel versus chat competition thing. Usually the chat's really smart. They have so many intelligent people there that go against us, and they usually win. But one time we did win about 2 weeks ago, and that was fun. And once in a while, the panelists are smarter a little bit, which is kind of nice. But it's not, it's not about who's smarter or who's better at it or faster, or anything. It's just having a lot of fun, and we all get along with everybody, and and we accept that people are pretty smart. They've got some good minds, and they can think of things on the fly, just like that. And so it's good to know people like that. It truly is. That they know what they're talking about. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Love trivia games. All right. Well, yeah. So lots of good content to check out there. Check out Silver's podcast tomorrow. For anybody who isn't subscribed for some reason, I don't know why anybody who's subscribed to this channel wouldn't be, but Viking Silver Wolf. Also at Beyond the Shadows, which I saw there was an episode of recently. So but yeah, all good things. And then of course we'll be back here like weekly, at least, and that is the plan. So to everybody watching, just give shout outs to the chat, because we had a few people. We had Big John Level back there. We had Skeptic Philosophy, JG at Certainty Exists. Who else did I see? There was somebody else in here.
Rebuke and reprove. And of course,
Rebuke and Reprove.
And we had Tony Stark, who joined us happily for about he only planned on 10 minutes, he said, but then he was here for about half an hour. And you did miss some great comic. Yeah, and you did miss some great comic content that he brought to the table. So if anybody gets a chance to rewatch that, and you only want to see Tony do his fabulous shtick at certain mark, go and do that. So
I might clip it. I might clip it later on.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, that's awesome.
And to anybody else watching, past, present, and future, of course, be kind, be well, and stay trusty. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks everybody for coming.
We'll see everybody. Take care.